Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Oscar's Cozy Corner, and welcome back to another Disney Dreamlight Valley decorating long play video. Today, we are overhauling Dazzle Beach. We are working on pretty much the whole biome, at least the whole right side of this biome. I'm super excited to get into this build with you. As you can see behind me, we have a finished build. However, we are going into this blind with no ideas. So we're going to experience the whole thing together. You get to experience my whole process from start to finish, as chaotic as it might be, but I do hope that you enjoy it. I hope it's cozy, I hope it's relaxing, and I hope that you can build along with me or just pop me on in the background as we natter away. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the build. Let's get going and let's make a start. All right, friends, so here we are down on Dazzle Beach. I do actually have an existing Dazzle Beach build, ignoring Ursula's Cave, that I actually still really like on this promenade section, so I do think I'm going to leave this kind of like 50s, 60s retro aesthetic, because that's kind of like its own area, and even though that's been standing for over a year, I still actually kind of like it. Plus it's detached from this other area across this log bridge, so we've still got this whole essentially biome to play with. I have been playing around a little bit, as you can see, with some of the dock pieces, so I'm just going to get rid of those for the time being. And you might notice this time around I don't have any sort of mood board down or anything like that. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what I'm going to do for this build. I don't know what I'm going to do apparently up here in the Forest of Valor. Coming back over, I don't really have an idea. Quite often when I go into these long plays, I have some sort of vision or something like that for the area, and then I put together a mood board based on that. But as of right now, I don't really have anything to give, so we're going to figure it out together. We're going to work out what might work best. I do think this is a pretty interesting biome just because of the shape of it, and then of course we've got this little island over by Skull Rock, and then we do have the water to play with now, especially with kind of like the dock kits and stuff like that. So I think that we can do something fun. I just think it's going to be a case of figuring it out, which, you know, works pretty well for something we're calling a long play, because I feel like this one might end up being a little bit longer. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of my kind of central section. I mean, I've had this since I started playing the game, and I used to have one of these in every single biome, and I think I really need to go back to doing something like that, because I will say, having an area around the well where you land, where you have a chest to store stuff from the biome, you can have a cooking station, you can have a crafting table. We have so many designs and styles of those right now too, that I think you can make something look really good in the biome, and it's just so helpful to really have that, I guess, that kind of like central point when you land. To have access to those functional things super quickly is really helpful. So I am going to replicate that area. I just don't know quite where yet. And then obviously one of the other things that we have in the base valley is all of these pillars, the different pillars from each of the biomes that you kind of like put together and bring back to life throughout the main story. So I know people have made features of these before. I don't know whether to go back to having one of these in each biome, putting them back in their rightful place or anything like that. I do like the way that they are themed to each biome, but I know that some people want to have them all together. But actually, now that we've gotten Olaf's exhibition and we do have themed stuff like this, so this is a companion house for the Forest of Valor, and I've actually literally just before I started recording unlocked the Dazzle Beach one, which I can show you really quickly. So this Dazzle Beach companion home, I'm really loving the biome specific themed items. So part of me is thinking, okay, well, maybe we just move the pillars back to where they came from, I guess. But that is going to have to remind me of which pillar is where. I think this is the Dazzle Beach one. Yeah, it is. I think. Anyway, I'm going to keep this out because I definitely want to use this companion home in this build. I have space up in my meadow, because I actually tore my meadow build down the other day too, so I'm just going to move all of these up into the meadow for now, just so they're out of the way. We can't move that in front of the mystical cave, and then of course we've got Goofy Stall as well, which I don't believe I have too many skins for. I definitely don't have a beachy one for it. I tend not to buy them unless there's something else in the bundle that I really like. So we'll keep Goofy's stall the same, and of course having an ancient vacuum for the biome is super, super helpful. So if I jump into my houses tab in the furniture mode, I think that's probably a good place to start, because all of my villager houses right now are on a floating island. I do have an idea for those, but it's a little way out, and I want to fully decorate my valley before I revisit the idea I have for these. But I'm quite excited to think about the possibility of doing something with all of those villager houses. But coming down on this list, we're just going to take a look through what we have and see what could fit in this biome. I don't think the jungle house really is the vibe that I'm going for. We do obviously have the seaside villa, which I can't believe how thin it is. I actually forgot how thin that was. We've got the Hawaiian home, which came with the island getaway bundle, of course. Don't really need the desert palace. I've not purchased every single house skin either, by the way. I don't think I have every single one in the game, but I do have the vast majority of them. I don't think I want to go with the wicker style either for this. Prince Eric's ship is a possibility, mostly because of the style of it, and obviously we're down on the beach. Part of me wants to do like a resort in this area, and then part of me wants to do pirates, so I don't really know how to marry those feelings up right now, but we'll find a way to figure it out for sure. We've also got some of the snowy ones. You can tell when we go through the seasons. When you scroll through this list, the Seaside Getaway House, so this is part of the Seaside Getaway bundle, and that's kind of where I was landing. We do also have the beach house, which I think is quite old, but I only purchased it recently. I definitely want the riverboat, even though that this is the sea. I just love the aesthetic of this. It's very Victorian, reminds me of the Grand Floridian in Florida, of course, reminds me of the Liberty Bell and the Mark Twain in the parks. And then coming down, I don't think the Tulip House for the build that I have in mind would work. However, if you did a Western or a Pirates themed build on the beach, you could definitely fit that in. And then of course we've got like the elemental stuff, but I think this is just a bit too futuristic for the vibe that I'm going for at the moment. I really love this beekeeper's house, but that's me getting distracted. So I think looking through the list, that seems to be the options on the table. I actually thought that I had maybe a couple more beachy style houses, but I guess that they are kind of under the villager houses. You know, I'm thinking things like Moana's house and maybe even Stitch's house, really. We do have the Enchanted Tiki room, which is kind of in that realm as well. But as I was saying, my gut is saying more of a beachy resort. I mean, it is kind of resorty. And then maybe we do pirates on this, because I mean, we've got Skull Rock there. Pirates over here could work. I'm not going for any particular aesthetic, I suppose. Like, I'm not thinking that this is a parks area, because I'm also going to have to, I mean, I guess that it could just flow into this area, but I'm just thinking, like, obviously we've got quite a 50s representation over here, or a 60s, or just a retro representation with lots of colors. But that could be like the boardwalk off the back of the resort that sits over here. So that's definitely an option. As much as I love this house, also, what are they doing in this house? It is so thin. Like, this house is like one room in depth. I think I'm going to save that possibly for the new DLC, if we do get another beachy biome, which it looks as though we will. And this one, again, I do really like this house. I actually think it's a lot of fun. But I'm not sure it's going to fit with the vibe that I'm going for. However, it's not a million miles away from, like, I think the Stitch house, this is not Stitch's house, but it's Stitch's Island Getaway Bundle. I think that this looks really cute. I love the pink on it. I just can't decide whether it goes with this style. I mean, I guess it kind of does. It's like shiplap and shingle and stuff like that, right? But then this one, I don't know. These three are kind of speaking to me in some way. I just don't know how to get them to necessarily work together right now. But I'm thinking maybe this could be something like the beachside. Maybe not lifeguard. It's a bit big for lifeguards, but you know, like maybe on the resort, me coming up with a true resort now, maybe that could go over there, somewhere like that. We could have the resort and I'll get some more of the building kit out and we could build something out over here resort-wise. And then maybe this could be like the restaurant or the clubhouse, like down over on the beach as well. And then we could make this like a little pirates area. So I wonder if we actually move like Eric's ship all the way out the back like this. Like I don't need to use this as a house or anything like that because we have so many houses in the game. I don't need really to have it super close to the island so I can access it or anything, but I think maybe like out the back like that could be kind of cute depending on what we put on this island. I am actually going to move Wally's garden out of the way though, because right now I don't need access to that for any particular reason. It's a little bit close to the dock there, but you get the vision, right? You see what I'm going for. And then maybe out here we could have the Mark Twain. I can't actually remember if this is specifically named as the Mark Twain. Oh, it is. There is an area that my camera keeps getting caught on these rocks. I'm gonna have to bear that in mind. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it says Mark Twain on the back of the boat. So that was just confirming it for my own edification. But I see it. I kind of see the vision of having like maybe the resort with the rooms over here. Maybe something to do with like, oh, we could even have this against the rocks. Like we could tuck this right up against the rocks on this side. And then maybe I could do something along this wall to kind of like disguise the fact that it's just the edge of the house. Yeah, I think that works. Or maybe we could even have it like here and we could fence this off because the grass really does stop literally like in a square like that. So we could do something like that, or maybe even something like, maybe tuck it in even further, like round about there. Yeah, I see the vision for that. We could have that there, and then maybe we could, that is a door, but do I need to access the back of it? Not really. So I suppose we could grab maybe something like, because we do have some tropical foliage. You know, we could grab something like that, even if we needed to. And just have it cover the back of the house like that. Definitely an idea. Let me move my little companion home friends. I don't know where to put these guys. Maybe like over here? Or maybe even just in the middle and make a feature of it. We'll find a place for them for sure, but I love the turtles. Like this turtle on the lifeguard chair, but then also the turtle on the surfboard is so cute to me. I think it's absolutely adorable. Let me use the quick save feature to make sure that we are not losing any progress. Not as though we've made a ton of progress anyway, but let me grab the seaside building kit because obviously we do have a few elements from that. I actually think I already have a preset. I do. Look at that. They've added presets to the game, so you can actually already drop some of the pre-made stuff down, which is super fun. Yeah, that looks cute. I mean, that helped me get that stuff out without even going through the menu, so I'm good with that. This little sand block is in the way, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try and get rid of that immediately. So that doesn't take up too much progress. We can just get rid of that. Thank you. Then we can jump back into furniture mode. Now let me move the well. And we'll just start playing around with some kind of like... I didn't realize they even put the benches in. They actually work really well. I need to keep that in mind. So we have 3 pieces to this kit, and then if I remember correctly, we also have the windmill? Oh, the lighthouse? I think. Ah, yeah, the Seaside Getaway Lighthouse. And then we do actually also have another lighthouse, which I have never used. Like, maybe that should kind of go out there. The perspective makes it look so tiny, unfortunately, but it's not actually... Well, I guess it is quite small. Maybe it should be a bit bigger. How many of those do I have? I have a bunch of those, but I guess we could find a place for that as well. TBD, to be worked on that front. But I don't want to block this entrance to the peaceful meadow too much because obviously I need to get up and down there. Even though I already put that tree down, I'm going to move this for now because I need the freedom of kind of like working with the space and just seeing what we've got. So let's just try a few layouts. Let's try something along these lines. I think it might actually need to turn straight away. So let's do... How close can I get with that? Not very. Let me turn you all the way around. We can do something like this. That fits, which is nice. I guess we could perhaps take it back a little bit. Some of the quests still require you to kind of like go down into the mystical cave. So I try to keep access to that. So at least I can run behind if I need to and get down there. It also gives me access to both of those mining nodes as well. Something to think about for sure. And then I'm wondering if we do maybe a small piece just there and there. I don't know whether to have this kind of like be a full square with a central courtyard or not. This already kind of feels quite big and as though it takes up like a lot of space. Although part of me also is wondering, like, should I do... If I move those out of the way, should I immediately come back on the return with another corner piece? It's a shame we can't clip them because there's a little overhang on the edges like that. It would be great to be able to do something like that, but we could do maybe going out that way or coming back in. I mean, I do feel sorry for those internal rooms if that's the case, because maybe there's a little bit of darkness on there. Oh, I forgot to remove that one. Let me take that out and then we bring that back down. See, part of me wants to do something like that though. I just wish that I could get a bit closer on these diagonals, but you just can't. So maybe we do... Well, what if I bring this out and in there? Or even maybe in the... Oh, no. Am I off by a tile? I seem to be off by a tile. There we go. Let's get that back in place. I actually don't mind it in the middle like that. I know that might seem a little bit odd, but I don't know. I don't hate that. Maybe I should hate it, but I don't. Yeah, I don't like having it at the back like that, even though I could have an entrance. It feels a little bit claustrophobic. But I actually don't mind having it. I don't mind having it like that, but then I'm thinking, well, what's the point in this back bit? Because then I'm just losing real estate for the sake of it. You know what I mean? So if I go back to maybe that, let me rotate this and see what it looks like having it face the other way. I need to bring that forward by what? 1 by there. Yeah, I think that way opens it a little bit better. It makes it feel more welcoming rather than making it feel enclosed. I don't know if I can still get down to that mining node. It looks as though I should be able to, but I'm going to bring it forward just a couple of tiles. Just like that. And we can work with that. Maybe we use these as kind of like standalone standalone blocks. Like down here, down towards the front. I actually quite like that aesthetic. I just have to make sure they're just about lined up. We move that down there. I can tell that's in line. And then I think I can reach... No, I can't. So I think it needs to come across. Maybe to about there. That'll do for now. And then I wonder where I could place these, because I want these to feel like a... I almost want the lighthouse to feel like an archway. I know that sounds silly because it doesn't have anything connecting in the middle, but I wanted that to feel like two grand pillars. But I guess I've done that effect with these. Like if I move that over there and I get rid of this one, could we do something? You see, I was thinking like, okay, well, this may be the big grand entrance. If I turn those all the way around, because I could even put like, I don't know what arch we have. Not all of them are called archways, but something like that, you know, with maybe the romantic archway. This one definitely doesn't work, but there's options, I suppose. That romantic one is probably the closest because it kind of matches the colorways with it being white, but I don't know whether I want that. I don't know whether I want that purple tone with the vines coming in down here. So maybe we don't do that. Try and do back to about here. I think that actually looks quite cute. Ah, there we go. I can grab it. So let's see. That seems to be the center point. So I'm gonna bring that all the way down, round about there. And I'm gonna use some paths just quickly to help me with that. So I'm gonna grab any path. I'm gonna place it just on the outside of that, and just on the outside of that, so I know that those are the edges. And you can see that I just need to bring those two across by 2. And then actually that is perfectly centered. So we were only 2 tiles out, which is not bad. Yeah, I just kind of like this resort feel. And then it's almost as if like this is the resort area where you stay. It could even be like a boutique hotel, something like that. And then you come over here to more of the leisure area, maybe where the food or the bar is or something like that. We can try and work out a way to separate those areas. And then you go over here to the promenade and there's another kind of like leisure or recreation area. And then over here could be, yeah, maybe the pirate section, possibly. There's a lot of themes going on, but I think I don't always do builds or have full biomes with lots of different themes going on. So it's quite nice to play around with that idea and with that concept. But maybe this house is just not speaking to me in the way that I need it to. Whereas this one feels like it could be related, or at least on the same resort to this. Does that make sense? Because it's kind of the same blue. It's got the white on it. It's got the wood. So I feel like that house kind of matches in the best way. So let's stick with that. Let's stick with that for now, at the very least. Okay, I'm gonna bring this down a couple of tiles, and I might even bring these back a couple. Just kind of like that, just to add a bit more separation of those areas. And then the boat. Where do we put the boat? Because I feel like the boat definitely belongs. So let's do the boat maybe. I want to see the paddle. So I guess we could do the boat over in this area. Maybe we even have a little bit of the dock kit coming out towards that boat, because obviously we can play around with those pieces. And then you might have seen earlier, just at the start of the video, I did have some of those dock pieces placed down already, and I just thought that it'd be cute to like connect them over between the two areas. So just something, you know, something like that. I know that we can't walk on these right now, unfortunately. Well, I don't see us ever being able to walk on those, but I just thought having something like that by there, and then the same again, like just over here, was kind of cute in a way to connect like this mainland to this sandbar. I don't know if sandbar is the right thing to say, but you know, maybe just about like there, and then just about there could be cute, and then this becomes its own little like inlet, I suppose. And we could put some maybe decor in this little bit. I wish that there was a filter on the furniture menu for me to be able to filter by water items, because it's quite hard to remember all of the water items we have off the top of our head. So it would be so nice to have a filter in here that was just like a water drop or something, or can go on water, you know, anything like that. That would be amazing. But yeah, I think that those work quite nicely. And then maybe we could bring the docks out. Maybe, I don't know, yeah, something like, or maybe just one there and then one there, or something along those lines. I don't like that. I don't like that. Unless we did like, I don't know, 3 of them to make them actually feel like docks rather than bridges. If you've not seen already, Dreamlight Anya has done an incredible pirate build with this dock kit. She literally never fails to make me just go, what? You did what? But she did this cute little thing where she did like this rotated. She rotated the dock kit to make a circle. And even though we keep ending up in the Forest of Valor, I don't know. You see the vision? Something like that. So shout out Dreamlight Anya. I love the circle effect. That's quite fun. It would be fun to see guests like jump over the gaps. Taking your life in your hands when you come to this resort. But then of course we're trapping the boat in there, so that's not ideal, but I don't know, there's always an option, you know. And we've got corner pieces as well, so I know that we've got some corner items. You could always do something like this. And what I did find with the dock kit is you can't actually fully connect it to one of the corner pieces, if I remember, because for some reason there's a gap. Like for some reason over here they have the post come out the end of the last piece, whereas over here it's sat in it. So like really this should be extended to that so they can go next to each other. And then another, like the posts are inset. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes I question what is being made. But let me see. Let me just try some layouts, because I haven't played with this kit yet, so I really just wanted to see what is going on. Can we fit something there? Not really. So it's really only that kind of way that looks good in terms of a full connection, which is kind of annoying, I guess. But I think I'm gonna forego the semicircle, not unless I used it somewhere else. Not because I don't like it, but it would have to, if I wanted to do that, I would kind of have to have it line up with, let me move the ship just so I can show you. I'd have to have it line up. I can't even grab them all either. It would need to line up with this lighthouse. So rather than it start at the lighthouse, I would want it to line up with the lighthouse, so it like did the full circle around there. So as good as that looks, I think I'm going to leave those for now. But I wonder if we do something out the back. Let's line that up. Actually, let's use a, I don't know, let's use a building to, okay, I can't use a building because we're on the sea. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that they were spaced far enough apart, really, but I guess I'll go back to my trusty rug system in order to get these spaced apart. 1, 2. So that's just on the edge, which means this one needs to be just on the edge. And then if I bring it over here, it would be that placement. And then that placement. And then we'd be able to bring this one down and up just like that. I just realized I should have just used the dock, right? Because then that's big enough, but... And then that one goes just by there. Bring that across. Is that down one too far? I think it is. I just make that right about there. Okay, that works. And then we can bring that out. And then we can bring that out. And I wonder if I do... Actually, I'm going to bring it a little bit more on land. That was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I do have the corner pieces, and I don't want to use the corners. So unless I did something like that, I don't think I'd be able to have it go the other way over here. Also just realized it's longer one way than it is the other. Interesting. I guess you could do... No, you couldn't do that, right? Because like I just said, it's longer one way than the other. That's gonna bug me. I thought that they were gonna be able to be like reflected. But I guess I would have to do... I guess I'd have to like makeshift like that, but... Okay, it looks as though I won't use the corner ones for now. There may be another place where I could use the corner ones, but as of right now... I mean, it could go... I mean, it could go there, so they couldn't get off the... So they couldn't get off the dock if they went to that island, but no, I kind of like that aesthetic a little bit more. I wonder if I could have these ones angled. I didn't even think about... Can they go to... No, I should have known. They can't clip together. That's the closest you can get them, but they'd have to be off-center. So, Oscar, let's get it together. Let's do those 3. Just like off the back like that. And then I wonder if we bring... What did I do with my Mark Twain? We could have the Mark Twain like right on the middle like that. I need to turn the mailbox off on that. Like, that is unacceptable. It's a shame I can't have more than one because I could have had another. I mean, I could change my house. Like, this is what I've got right now, the superhero house, but I will get on my soapbox once again and say, Gameloft, please let us buy houses that do not function as houses. Like, let me go to Scrooge and just buy furniture replicas of these houses so I can place them down without having to make my main house everything in order to get 2. But I do kind of like how that looks. I just don't know where I would spawn. I just don't know where I would spawn when the game loads, so we'd have to wait and see. But I think that yeah, I think that looks adorable. Now, I just don't know whether to do it facing forward or facing backward. Because I do like the way you can see the paddle steamers, but I do kind of also like being able to see the front of the boat. I guess we could do something like that. I'm going to come across, I think, 2 tiles to make it in the middle. Yeah, that's the middle. So we'll go with that by there. And I think that's also centered, which is good. So I guess we could have one on each way. Yeah, I kind of like this. The thing is, now part of me is wondering whether this lighthouse in the middle is in the wrong place. Because if you think, if this is the main entrance to whatever this resort is, like, it kind of blocks the view. Like, it almost feels as though this lighthouse should, like, go down and be part of the buildings now, or it should be sat, like, I don't know, on the edges or on the corners. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like now it needs to be rethunk, for lack of a better term. Although it does look like it's going to be difficult to fit one in the same place over there because I'm hitting the edge of the biome, which is very unfortunate, but I don't even know where that edge is. However, I could bring both of these down further again. And I definitely do want this lighthouse. I wish it could go on water. Like, there's really no reason that it shouldn't be able to go on water. Other than the fact that it's built of timber. We will find a home for these. Like, having a lighthouse right in front of the window feels counterproductive. Unless we have to find another home for these. But even then, I don't know if we would be able to because Dazzle Beach is relatively small. But it would go back to having my earlier thought of having something like that, you know? Something along those lines. I thought that I used to be able to clip into these somehow, but I don't think that option is there anymore. Does that even fit? I was just wondering if that fits down here. Oh, it does fit. So you could block that off if you wanted to. Which actually I don't hate, but I don't think it'll fit on the other side, which makes sense. Much to think about, friends. Because I do really love the double lighthouse, and I love having that, like, you know, like this right in front of the boats. I have it center line to the boat. Let's do it about there. And I think that's also center aligned just about. I have it, what? It's either there or there. Let's go with that one. And then I have that in line 2. Although I guess I've gone against what I said, and I've blocked I've given a view to the dock, but now I've blocked the view of the boats. Also, do you think that the dock needs to be against the boat? Do you know what I mean? Like, does the dock... Because if people are loading onto the boat, then maybe the boat floating in the middle like that doesn't really help. But I just kind of, I don't know, I kind of like that. Because you can't really have it too close either. Although, actually, maybe that's more appropriate. But then I can't have a third, which is unfortunate. So I'm just gonna leave it the way it was. I'm just gonna leave it the way it was. Not me revisiting the original layout we had. So maybe it is a case that we do kind of like have this courtyard area. Maybe I do need to do that. You know, maybe we do something like this. And then I could have my wishing well in the middle. And this could be my like central area for landing in the biome at the well. I don't think I have a well that really matches anything. Like none of these really fit the vibe. We might have a beachy one. I don't really purchase too many wells, so I think I'm gonna have to stick with this one. But I do kind of like that. I think that looks good. I wonder if I could. I was just wondering if there was any capacity in which I could fit a building against that with no gap, but I just don't think it's there. I don't think it's there on that side anyway, but I could bring all of this back now if I can select it. Where do I need to be? So close. Okay. That's so annoying. Can you see, like, you can just kind of get there, but not quite. I wonder if I can actually do this. Like, is it going to let me? No, I'm not going to be able to select them all, but that's fine. Let me go back. To about there. Yeah, let's go back to about there. I'll come out of group mode. And now this is the question of, do I have an extra one like here and here? Or do I just forgo the fanciness and not have another corner piece? Do I bring it round to really make it feel like an enclosed courtyard? No, it's too big, right? It's too big and blocky. Like, I don't like that. I think the max that I'm going to do is this to get this to work in a way that I like it anyway. But then I guess, could I go back to just having one? And if that's the case, do we have like, do we end up having one on? No. Yes? No. I love these buildings, but they're causing me distress. I'm just kidding. I think I might take a little breather from this section, because I just can't quite get the vibe right. Although I'm leaning to what I had before with them being kind of like detached, and I can't decide why. It just felt a little bit more, I don't know, I just felt a little bit more natural, I guess. So maybe I'm saying I'm going to take a break and work on something else, and here I am still playing around with it, but such is life. And then maybe we move this down and we have one of these on both sides to really make it feel like even. So like I could do another one over here. Then I wonder if part of me wants to rotate these. But would I be able to fit it with that other dock? And I don't want to block off the Mark Twain. Like, that's dumb. Like, what am I doing? That's so silly. We could definitely have it like down here a little bit. It's just one tile out. Are you serious? And then maybe we could have those kind of like on the edges. Or we could just have it in the middle like it was. I'm still leaning towards that, to be honest. I'm still leaning towards this, because then I could do a walkthrough down these areas. So at least I've got a clean route down from the peaceful meadow and across through the center of whatever this ends up being. And I think that just like makes it all work a little bit better. Okay. Yes. So I think I might mix both of the initial ideas that we had. So I might bring this back out this way. Kind of like this. Although it doesn't need to be necessarily that far out. I'm thinking maybe like that. I just like the way it opens up, as I said before. Then that gives us the chance to place these in a slightly different place, so we can actually bring these a little bit closer to the main structure. Yeah, I think that's better actually. So if I move the well just over there for a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that lighthouse round about there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab... I don't think I can reach all the way down. Yeah, I can't reach all the way down to both of them. So I think if I grab this one, maybe bring it possibly like in line with the edge of that. To about there. Although I think this might be too close. Yeah, maybe that is a bit too close. I didn't want it to feel like super claustrophobic, but then I was like looking like, okay, well, where's the middle of that? So I guess I could bring this out and just give it a bit of breathing room. So where does that actually land us? So that is on the outside. And what are we? 2 across? 3 across? So if I did the same over here, if I just move that all the way back, I'm just gonna double check that that is like right in the center of the door too, in the same place. It's to the left or to the right of the door. That's right. So at least it's lined up horizontally, and then I can do out 2 and then down, and I know that that just has to go back to there. I can get rid of that. And then if I move it down 1, 2, and then move it down 1, I don't know how many that was, 1, 2. That creates that kind of like middle square effect without it, I think without it feeling too enclosed, and I can still access all of that stuff down the back, which is nice. And if I really did want to block that off, I'm able to fit one of those in, so you kind of can't see down the back, which I actually don't mind. Like, I guess it depends. Like, I only really need to mine for the star paths, so I could always just remove that if I needed to when a star path hits, in order to mine for the gems. But yeah, I think for now I'm just gonna close that up just like that. And then we could even put some foliage in there. We could put some palm trees and stuff like that. So from up here, you kind of get the palm trees in the vision as well. And then we can go ahead and we can put this well right in the center of this area. And I think it needs to come across just by 1 tile, and then maybe up by 1, and that should be aligned with that door, and it should be aligned with that door. Although, does that look off? Are you one tile off, or are you right in line? In line with the middle of the door, in line with the left of the door. It's 1 tile out. So let me just do 1, 1, 1. There we go. That's nice and in line. The other thing that I remembered and I just saw the other day was I've never used this sand path. So obviously we got the sand path with the Tatooine build. Is it weird to use sand on the beach? I think that it is a little bit, but part of me is like, well, I kind of want to use this sand as well. Although I do really like the color sand of Dazzle Beach. Like, it's slightly less yellow than this one. So I think maybe we have the well right in the center of that area, and perhaps we even just path all of this section. I don't know if I've got enough of this worn brick path. I'm going to try this one, but I think maybe even like, I think maybe the cobblestone from Wish Blossom Ranch could go quite nicely. But the reason I like this path is because it has a real squared edge on it. It has quite a hard edge, whereas a lot of the paths we have in the game have a softer edge. But you can put the river kit and stuff like that right against this one, and obviously I've just ran out, so I am going to swap over for now just to the cobblestone path, because I feel like that's kind of beachy as well, right? Like I feel like it evokes the idea of the beach, but it might be that we do something else, maybe the brick path in this particular area, because it's slightly bugging me that this path is see-through, so I can still see the grass underneath it. And also all of those bricks together feels quite heavy, I guess. So let me just see quickly what the brick road looks like. I do feel like that feels quite coastal. I'm not sure. I just think the color matches quite nicely. Let's just see what else we've got. We do have the natural path as well, which also really does work in this biome because it is basically a Dazzle Beach path. Let's just have a quick look through. That could work, but I'm not going to use it here. We could do the slate one, I guess. The slate path might work. Yeah, I don't mind the slate path. I actually think that looks okay. Of course, we do have that cobblestone one. Maybe we use the cobblestone for, like, the path outside of this area, if that makes sense. So we've got our docks. We've got our central section. And as I said, I do really want to lean into having a functional area again around my well. So as soon as I land, I'm able to, like, vacuum up what I need. I'm able to pop it into a chest straight away. So I don't know how I can do that and also kind of like disguise it, if that makes sense. Because it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but you see I've got a chest here that we could use. The vacuum straight away. I could possibly put... Let me take a look and see if we've got any crafting tables that match this vibe. Because I'm not sure we have any beachy ones. I mean, we've got the pirate one. We do have the pirate one. I mean, the other alternative, actually, is that I move the well over here. Because we could do... I'm now just wondering, I've got the Neverland wishing well. What if I make this area pirate-based? Like, if I make this little island pirate-based, I could have the well over here. We could bring in the pirate crafting table not far from this. I could change the chest to kind of like a different chest or a darker chest because we have so many chests in the game now. I actually don't know if I have any in my inventory. I mean, we got the painted ones as well, which are free from Scrooge, which is really nice. Oh, we've got Cortez chests that we could put down as decoration. I think that if I remember correctly, the Darkwood vintage chest is linked to the main storage. Like, you only get one of these and it's just repeated. However, that would have been cool because it matches the color of this, but I like having a chest kind of like per biome. But I could create one, I guess, that is a custom chest. I could just craft one of those. That could work. And then there's not really any way of like disguising the vacuum. It's just super handy to have. And then finally, I know that we do have a pirate cooking station. Cookies? I wish. Yeah, we've got a pirate ship cooking station. So actually that kind of goes with this vibe as well. So yeah, I think maybe I have this as my landing spot and then I can just make this kind of like a cute formal build, I suppose. What I am going to do is I'm just going to bring the floor or the path out underneath all of the buildings for now. We can always take away, but it's always, yes, a little bit easier to flesh it out and add as much as you can initially, because trying to add on can be a little bit more difficult than taking away when you've already put all of the path down. So I'm just going to have that go underneath there like that. I guess we need to come across on that front, and then I am just going to make sure that we come out underneath the side of the building on this side. Probably another tile. Something like that. And then I can just do the same over this side. Did I come out more than that? I did, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because of the sea. Yeah, we get stopped by the sea. So I'm just going to get rid of that one on that side. And actually, you know what? Let's just get rid of that one as well then. Then I can just bring this all the way down. And I'll just come underneath that building. Not sure how far back I can go with that. I think I can go all the way, but let's do that to the top. Bring it down, get it under the building. Then it's just a case of kind of like clicking and dragging each of these ones all the way down. You know I'm going to say it. I say it in every long play video. Gameloft, I would love the ability to draw a border and then just fill that border in with path. That'd be wonderful. We could maybe think about that. All right. Well, if that's the case, then actually I could probably bring these in, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So we've still got our little central area, central courtyard type thing. I'm wondering, part of me wants to do something like this. So I could change it to diagonal like that. I don't know, I kind of like the way that it is almost a perfect match around that lighthouse. That feels quite fun. But I wonder if maybe we could use the cobblestone path around the lighthouse. It does take a little longer to save once you've used a lot of paths. So bear that in mind, especially if you're on a console that perhaps doesn't have as much power, maybe an early switch or something like that. When you place a lot of path down in one go, it seems to just need to take a moment, take a beat to save. Fingers crossed it will get itself together. Part of me is now actually wondering whether we could maybe do the cobblestone path around the lighthouse. I don't know where it might need to sit to be able to do that. I'm just gonna... Actually, if I change all of them like this, I should be able to replicate it. So it comes out in? Or did I come out too far? 1, 2... No, I think it needed to be where it needed to be. I know I've just destroyed the little thing that I did, but I think that's right. So let's do that down there. I think it came out again. In, across, down. And then it kind of matched up. Just like that. Let me see. Ah, okay. So we need to do maybe that there, and then we bring this out, and then we can change them all again to diagonal. And then will that fit back on the space? Okay, it does. It just needs a little extra across there, and a little extra across there. And then also I think maybe we need to bring it across underneath so you just can't see it end. I think that should be about right. Let's see. Yeah, that looks kind of cute. But then I don't know if this fits anymore. It's a shame the way the diagonal works, because like this big gap now looks kind of silly, but maybe I just bring that out and we make the gap bigger by there instead. Yeah, that's kind of fun. I like that. And then we could bring that in as accents, like around. I don't know where. I'm not sure. We could bring it in possibly around the front. I mean, we would need to delete a tile. I'm probably going to go back on this. I just want to experiment and see what this looks like. But you could kind of bring it like underneath the entrance. And then maybe out. Kind of like that, you know, just so it's a bit of a different... Actually, you know what? I kind of like that. Just so it's a bit... Yeah, it catches your eye a little bit differently, I guess. Let's see. Can we do the same thing here? Can we replicate that? Will it still look as good? Many questions to be asked. Let's do like that. And then we can do the same thing on this side. So I'll just get rid of a tile. Bring that in. And then we can bring that all the way across. Underneath, of course. And then we've got 1, 2. Fun. I like that. I wonder what it would look like if I used the worn road instead. Where is that? Worn brick road? Yeah, the color of that's a little bit warm, I think. Because everything's so cool, I think the color of that is a bit warm. Now, I do want something in the middle. I don't know whether to have a fountain or something along those lines. Let's take a look at what fountains we have. We do have the jets now. We do have the zoo fountain, but again, that's a little bit green. Oh, I completely forgot about the Fountain of Youth. I wonder if we could make that work on this island over here somewhere. Well, I'm getting distracted. Making myself distracted, but like that island feels like perfect for the Fountain of Youth, right? Like as a backdrop or something, especially with the way it looks against Skull Rock. But now that I've done that, let me come back over here a sec. None of these really feel like the vibe. That's the only problem. The tiered fountain, not really. Seaside Village fountain I do like, but again, it's got that warm tone that the buildings don't actually have. The Mickey one is way too big. Ratatouille's a bit French, and it's still broken with the black on it instead of water. And outside of that, kind of like not really vibing with any of them. So instead of that, I wonder, what if we do... Is that right in the middle? No, but I think this is. Maybe we bring that. Like that, I guess. Is that the same amount of path? It is the same amount of path. It's kind of bugging me that it doesn't end there. Like, I feel like it should end there. But I think maybe I might put like the river kit just in this middle bit. I know we've got small pieces. That one's way too big. Where is it? I know that there's a mid-sized piece. Maybe I've run out of those. I've definitely used them in other builds recently, so I guess I could create the same effect with these single smaller tiles. Let's do something like that. I don't know whether to take out like... You could take out the middle tiles and maybe have palm tree or something in this area. I come all the way down to some of the original. We've got some of the palm trees that could work. I don't like that. I like the palm tree, but I don't like the water being out of place like that. So I'm thinking if I did something like this, but then instead we put the new jets on it. So obviously we've got the new premium shop jets, or relatively new. So we've got like a semicircle one, although it can't go over multiple... It can't go over multiple items, so it would have to be the vertical ones. So it would have to be something like... Something like this. I could do it in a zigzag format. Have I lost a tile somewhere, or am I just... Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to have one in the middle like that necessarily. Let me do... Okay, let me think about this, because what pattern would that be? I do like that, and then around the edge, we might be able to put like a little fence or something. Obviously, because it's a single tile, I can't have it in the middle. So now I'm thinking, well, where can I have... Unless I did... Although this might be a lot of fountains. But because it's an even number, again, I think I'm going to hit the same issue, right? Oh, that one actually goes... That one actually goes over half tile, so maybe... Oh my gosh, that's so many fountains. That's so many fountains. Maybe I do need to go and grab a couple more of the smaller one, the second size up from Scrooge. And then we can work out a way to do the fountains around that. But I'm going to leave those in there for now. But if I come down to, I think, fencing... I do really like this elegant white fence, and I think that it matches this kind of like build super well. So I'm just going to place some of that down just to remind myself it exists. But then we do also have this, where is it? This Edwardian one? The Edwardian fence. However, it doesn't seem to be in here. So let me search Edward. Edward? Shout out if your name is Edward. Now this might feel too regal, but we're going to try it. Because we don't have any black kind of like wrought iron in this build. It's all very natural, woody, beachy. So this might be almost too elegant for what we're going for. But I do think it looks quite nice. And then if we had some fountains in there too, then I think that could really work. And then I'm thinking around these areas, we need some greenery. So if I get rid of... Actually, if we get rid of that all the way out here, let's get rid of that one as well. I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to come all the way out to there. Going to get rid of those, get rid of that, get rid of that. And then if we change that to diagonal, we could then start bringing in maybe some of the cypress trees or something like that to really bring in some greenery to this space. So we actually have some new cypress trees, which is even better. We've got these little cypress saplings, which looks super, super good. So I wonder if maybe we bring some of those in. Kind of like that. Maybe we have them tucked in, you know, right into those corners as well. Actually, I can pull that one out even further. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just have one off the back and one off the back, like that. Oh yeah, that feels cute. That definitely feels cute. This middle bit might not be giving me the wow that I'm thinking, so I might rethink some of that. But then I'm also now looking at this and I'm like, I don't know if I can fit any extra trees in this area. I know one that might go quite nicely is like the plaza tree. So maybe we could have that on the outsides, like in that space. It's almost as if that was kind of made for that. So let's do that in each of the corners. And then I wonder if we can bring those in any capacity over here as well. So maybe we do... Maybe we do it right in front of this bit. Kind of like that. Which I'm going to bring across one. Yeah, I like that. I like that. The only thing still not sitting quite right with me is this fence. And that's mostly just because it's just kind of not matching the vibe that I have in my head, but maybe it does match the vibe. And maybe I'm wrong. That might be possible too. We will obviously flesh the rest of this build out with foliage and all the little cute elements that make a build come to life, but I'm just really trying to get like the structure of this build down, because I know I did a seaside getaway kit build a few months ago, so I don't just kind of want to replicate that, and that's what we'll do something different over here, maybe with maybe a relaxation area or something like that, you know. So we will get to that. I just really want to get this kind of area settled down a little bit. So I think we're nearly there with the structure of it. I actually think the structure of it looks really nice. That middle water feature is not speaking to me in the way that I thought that it might. So we might end up doing something different there. As much as I love these little Edwardian pieces, I wish we had different types of path in that small kind of look, I guess. But maybe we don't need water at all. I mean, maybe we're on the seaside, and maybe this could just be like a little center foliage area or something like that. You know that I've done areas like that before where we do something like this and we just kind of flesh it out with an idea. Or it may be that this does actually need to come down an entire section. I'm actually going to try that because it has been bugging me. So I don't know whether this needs to come down just by one tile everywhere. So I'll do that on every corner, which means I can then get rid of like one on each side. And then we'll do one down all the way across, one down. And then it means we can get rid of that one. And then they can all come down like that. And we've got the same effect, just a nice easy way of moving it. And then that means down over here, I can bring this all across. Actually, we could even come out one more on that side. I think we could come out one more on this side. And then we can just fill those spaces in. Just like that. And then if we change it again... Oh, actually, no, we left that one out, didn't we? Okay, let me do that again. Just like that. And then we have the same thing, the same effect. I guess we could even maybe bring this down towards the... I was just thinking maybe I could bring it down towards the actual dock kit. Kind of like that, so it has that little outlet, I guess, from it. And I was kind of wondering whether I could do the same thing over here. Like, I don't know how close I can get with the path to that. Not very by the look of it, because if I grab anything else, let me grab a tree. That's where the biome kind of like ends, because it is the... I guess it's the edge of the biome. Let's do that. We could come across. So we could have a path coming off to each of the dock areas. I think that could be cute. So we do all the way across. I have to try and make sure this matches now. Then down there. And all the way across again. I think that should be about right. Although this one looks a lot wider. Let me change those up real quick and we'll see where we've gone wrong. I think it's with that one. I think that's all it needed. So if I change that, here we go. Yes, wait, that looks good. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to get rid of those just for now. I do think I'm going to grab these a sec. I'm just going to make them a quick preset. Name it foliage, and then if I jump into presets, which is up here, and just grab it, and I'm just gonna pop it right in the same space. However, do we need to do the same thing with the floor? I think we might. So maybe we should do that first before I get the foliage in. So it's that, and then we grab our nice little cobblestone path, wherever it may be. Where was it? It's a relatively new one, so perhaps just towards the top. We got one. I'm going to bring it out just in front. Like that. Actually, I think it comes out another one. It does come out another one. And it also goes across another one. So cross, and it comes out like that. Well, that feels a lot bigger. Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't come across one. It just goes to there, which is fine. And then that can go underneath. And then what we'll do, we'll bring this out another tile just to give it a bit more walkway. And then what did we do over here? We got rid of this one, this one. Was that it? And maybe this one? No, I don't think we did. That's it, I think. Yeah. So we just got rid of that one and that one. That one. Cool. And then I can just see if I can do the same over here. Not sure if I'll be able to. Let's get rid of that. Let's grab the cobblestone path. Bring it underneath. Cross. Out 2. Got a feeling I'm going to be able to bring this across there. I might. No, I'm not. But that's fine. I'm not gonna stress too much about making this a double. We'll just do that. Then that should be good to go. And then I can drop that foliage preset back in. So we hop into the presets menu, grab that, and I think, yeah, that's about right. Actually, that might be even a tile back too far. No, it is right. It just looked like the plaza one was too far away, but let me do the same again here. We'll grab that and we'll just rotate it and it will sit just about there. So now we've got nice matching foliage on each side of the buildings. Ironically, no kind of like beachy foliage, but that's fine. Its time will come. Its time will come. And then I'm going to change all these again, and I'm going to bring this back down a little bit. And then we're going to fill this in, fill that in. We're going to, yeah, let's bring each corner in just one more to make it kind of a harsher diagonal. And then that's like right in front of both of those buildings. And then that's nice and centered and kind of like regal. Yeah, this looks good. I like this. This has come together really nicely. So I'm definitely happy with how this is progressing. Obviously, we've got the extra tile over there, so I'm just going to get rid of that by there. Cool. I think that looks fun. There's definitely something else we can add like in front of there and there, but I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it for the moment and we can revisit. So I kind of want to, yeah, I kind of want to start just like looking at this pirate section just as a little change of pace. So I'm just going to bring my functional stuff off this area for now because I know that some of the pirate stuff is quite big, although I will need to consider the well. But let's work out where the Fountain of Youth might fit. Because actually it seems as though this biome ends quite short of the edge over there, but you can get a lot closer to the sea on that side. But I was kind of thinking like, unless that goes in the middle, like unless that goes right in the middle, but it looks as though I need to dig up that and get rid of the dig spot. All right, that's all clear now. So let me see what we can do. Maybe we have that slightly off, kind of like to the side about there. I don't want the ship to be behind it, so maybe we need the ship maybe around about there. Or maybe we do have it like off the back of Moana's boat, so they're kind of like there together. Is that Moana's boat or is that Ariel's boat? No, that's Ariel's, I think, right? I've got Moana's somewhere. Maybe I should move Moana's little fish market back down here to remember that it's there. Because actually this is definitely the best place for it. So I'm going to do... Let's do that. Because I don't think I want the pirate ship like in this middle cove. Like that doesn't feel Doesn't feel right, but I tell you what does feel right. How could I forget? We have the swan boats. The swan boats could go in here so the resort can rent swan boats and they can go little like paddling in this area. That's kind of fun. So that's limited to this circle then, which is cute. Not me messing with the rotation of the swan boats. Let's do something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and that area can be specifically for just kind of like paddling around on those. What a cute idea. I am so smart. And then over here, yeah, I think we can go ahead and bring this well in. I mean, we can just place it right there, right in front of the Fountain of Youth. Unless we do, if we do something like that. I think that's round about as far away that we can get it. So I'm going to do that about there. But then the other thing that I know we have, and the problem with Dreamlight Valley is you have to kind of remember that these items exist. I was just thinking about Gaston's shipwreck. Like, the sand doesn't really match. I mean, it would have been, I mean, it could be cool. Well, yes, I guess. I've just never used this item, so I really want to use this one in a build somewhere. But I'm just looking. I mean, we got the pirate ship wheel, which is fun. We've got the table. I mean, I don't know what use that would be. I mean, I could put the ship in the bottle on it. But we could do that. And then I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to reset my filters and I'm going to come down to the... What was it? The Mermaid Star... Oh, the Adventures in Neverland Star Path. Because we obviously got a bunch of... like mermaid adjacent stuff. Although I know that this is not the most popular stuff in the world. It's a little bit gaudy. We didn't get that much pirate stuff, and a lot of what we did get was indoors. So I think I would keep the cartography desk out. Actually, you know what? I don't mind this little table. We do have the pirate ship chair. I also know that we got another chair from the pirate digging event, which I never did, so forgive me. If I search pirate, does that bring up anything different? Oh, it brings up the treasure trove, and it brings up the pirate's treasure. Okay, that's a good idea. We need treasure, for sure. Oh, wait, no. Did I do it? Oh, I must have done it. I have the pirate's throne. Maybe I did do that event. And then, of course, we've got the crafting table. We've got the cooking station. We've got this. And then, actually, if I search chest, I think one of the Aladdin chests is much closer. Yeah, the large marketplace chest is much closer in style. So I'm going to leave this out for now because I've actually got items from this biome inside of that. But I think this is a good place to start. And then I've also got like a pile of cash or coins or gold. I can't remember. Oh, wait, Cortez. Maybe I should filter by Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, I don't remember what icon that looks like. We do have a lot of franchises in game, but they're not actually like alphabetized or anything like that. If they were alphabetized, I'd be able to find them, but there we go. We've got a chalice. I'm really just getting anything out that is pirate related. Oh, we've got the metal grate. Yeah, and then we've got Cortez chest. And then finally, I want to get out the gold, but I can't remember if I need to craft some more. And I actually can't remember if it's even called gold, but I know that I've got some vases and stuff like that, which are also gold, which is super handy to kind of like flesh out that riches sort of vibe. Anything gold I like putting down. Apart from a cornucopia, I'm going to give that one a miss. We even have the gold stanchions. I mean, no, that feels more like theme park. I think if I search for riches, maybe it's underneath riches. Yeah, it is. But obviously some of these are really big, so I just have to bear that in mind, which is why I'm trying to get those out first. So I've got the small heap, and then I've got the medium heap, and then there's the large heap, which takes up a pretty big footprint. Looks as though I could do with some more of the small ones. But let me move these off as well, and we'll get the riches down first. We'll fill in with the secondarily big items, and then we will finally get the smaller items dotted around. So I think if I bring maybe this one in over here, maybe we could do something down there with the small one, which actually I think works pretty well. I don't need to go, well, as far as I'm aware, I don't need to go into Skull Rock for anything else. So I guess we could have maybe this like right against this one. And then part of me is thinking, could I fit that in? But I can't. I am going to save, if I group this, I'm going to save this as just riches for now because I've run out and I don't want to go up to Scrooge's. So it will allow me to place it down from the preset menu via the Mirage. So I can fit one of those in just about there. And I wonder if we have, maybe if we move this like over here, could we fit the chests in? Because these have quite a big footprint. I'm not sure why they need so much space out the front of them. Damn, that's a lot of space you need. I saw that it just fit somewhere, so let's see. I can get to about there, and how far across can I get? There. But actually, those are so uniform that they kind of bug me, because they're like in a perfectly straight line anyway. So maybe I forgo those chests, and maybe I just bring another one of these big pirate chests in. And we do... Actually, I can take that back a bit further, which means I can take that back further, which means I can take that back further. And then we can move that over, possibly, see what angle that works at. I can bring that maybe to about here. And then that one could go there, and then we could sneak this chest hopefully in. Might need to go backwards. Yeah, we could put that in maybe about there. And then maybe we do Cortez's chest. I do really like this cartographer's table as well. I would love to be able to place something about there, but it doesn't seem like that where it wants to go. So let's do something like that. I don't have any path over here, which is what I'm just thinking. Because what else have I got? What else have I got? I mean, I need to fit some of this stuff in. So let's make sure the table is down, because the crafting table is quite important. Let's put that there maybe. Then let's make sure we've got at least the cooking station as well. We could have that by there. Start to create this kind of like area just off the well. So you can see I'm kind of creating this central section right here, which I think would work. And then maybe we could put the vacuum just about there. And then we could have the chest just off the back of that. I'm really thinking like as if I can walk across these anyway. I'm like, well, no, I can't block that. But then I just remembered you can't actually walk across them anyway. I don't like that. I don't like how that looks. I need it to feel a little bit more like I don't know, a little bit more randomly placed. Maybe this is a bit better, and then I wonder what else we've got. I know we've got some of this gold and stuff like that. Let's get that in. Maybe one over there, maybe one. Maybe one here. And then what else? We've got some of these lights as well, which are actually pretty cool. We could do one on the edge. Maybe we could do one just over on this bit. And at the moment, I've only got one of these small ones, so I'm just going to choose a space for that round about like there. And then actually, I think the table. I think the table could go like that. Yeah, I kind of like that actually. And then maybe then we could fit this in, but it's not like an absolute necessity. I don't want it to be in my way when I'm like running, because as soon as I spawn, I'm going to want to run across the water, right? I'm never really going to want to be stranded on this island. What if I don't know if this is possible. What if I moved all of this down here? Not possible. I was just checking. Maybe I move that down a little bit, just slightly away from the well or from the water. The fountain. We got there. The fountain, and then what else have we got? I've got the pirate ship wheel, which I kind of want a dramatic effect, so I wonder if that could go. I don't want to tuck it behind the well, but I wonder if it could go maybe. Did I see somewhere that fit just then? Maybe somewhere like that. No, I don't like that. Over there, maybe. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there we go. Like that, and then we can have that there and that just there at the back. And I will add some little foliage and stuff to make this feel a little bit more, I guess rough and ready, I suppose. I'm going to rotate this back there so I can get the chalice on. Maybe we can find a spot for that on this side. I just want it to feel like a collection of stuff, really. Like I want it to feel like an island that's got a load of treasure on it. So we could put the seat right next to there, right next to the treasure. And then we also have this map desk as well. Like so many things. Like this could go out the back though, right? Like that could go out the back. Maybe about there, and then I could have the wheel facing the other way. And then I drop that. Okay, this all feels a bit like haphazard. I can't lie. If I do it that way. It does all feel a little bit haphazard, but I still kind of like it. I like the vibe. Maybe it's missing like paths or something to tie it together. Do you know what I mean? Like paths off of this to the well. Or maybe it's just missing beach grass. Because you know I love me some beach grass, and I think that if I added that, it would start to feel... It would feel a bit better. Not that it feels bad, but let me use some of that real quick. Let me see what I've got. Actually, what have I got in this jungle preset? Because I made this jungle preset. when I did another build. Okay, yeah. Let's rewild this space, as they say. Let's get some foliage in here to make it feel a little bit more overgrown. The first thing that I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to grab is I'm going to grab some beach grass, because one of these beach grasses clipped into everything, which is this one, which means you can start to make it feel really like overgrown, like it's not been lived in for ages. Let's do... Can I fit one over there? I can. So I'm just going to go ahead and find places for this all amongst these ruins and wreckages. Find one there. I wonder if I can even place it. I can even place it around the well. How good is that? See, this is the joy that being able to clip stuff brings us, Gameloft. So let's just get rid of the... Let's get rid of the grid. How about that? Let's just get rid of the grid. Yeah, cool. Something like that definitely makes it feel wilder. And then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to actually bring in some... Let's bring in some tropical trees. Let's scroll down. Let's go to palm trees. Now, I can't remember. I think we've got a couple versions of palm trees, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but they're the sunlit plateau ones, and I don't really want to use those. Although I know we do have the dune trees as well, which are quite cool. So I'm just going to place 2 of those down, because I believe there's only 2 variations of those. I don't think I'm going to use the bamboo or anything like that, or any of the kind of like wild ones. And I don't want any with grubs on, just for this particular build. I'm going to have a quick scroll through. I think that's about it. So then we've got these round palm trees. I can't remember if there's more than one variation of these. I don't think that there is. I think that it's just the one variation of the round palm tree. And then I think there's at least... 2 for the bent ones. So if I remember correctly, there is... I think I've had it twice now. I think there is a version that's leaning. Although actually that one's quite cute too. All right, let's find a spot for these. One there. We could also fit one in there. Very nice. We've got this big bent palm tree that can go literally like right there. And then I think we'll do another one because it's so tall. I wonder if we could get it out the back. Yeah, I was thinking, could we get it out the back coming over that? Actually, no, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. The round palm tree has the biggest footprint of them all. Like, I don't know why this footprint is so enormous. So I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze this one in anywhere as much as I do like it. Let's do the smaller one. I guess we could do that right next to the crafting table. Hopefully I can fit this one somewhere. What am I running into? Okay, it doesn't like that grass, it looks like on that one, so I should be able to fit that in if I don't have the grass, which is good. So at least that's out the back. And then I think maybe we'll do another small one there, and then another small one over here. So I don't think I need to get to Skull Rock for anything, really. I don't think I need those dune trees, as impressive as they are. Yeah, I think they just take up a little bit too much space for this build. I might use them elsewhere. And then I'm thinking maybe I use... I know we've got the driftwood path now from Honeyglow Woods. I've kind of forgotten what the tropical path looks like, because there was a similar tropical path. The tropical wood, but it's a much lighter wood. So part of me really kind of wants to use the Winnie the Pooh one. Whether that makes sense or not, I don't know. But it's just kind of fun, right? It's just... You can maybe do something like that. Maybe one there. Oh, I think that's it. That's really as close as we can get. So, I mean, they work for where they are, I guess. Oh, I could have 3. If I could fit, what do you want to get rid of? You want to get rid of the beach grass if I do that? So if I move the beach grass just off to the side like that, could I then fit one underneath here? I could. And we could do maybe like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then I wonder if we bring in some of the stones. Obviously, we've got the rocks. And then I wonder if we bring in... These small ones I really do love. Do we have a Dazzle Beach one? Yeah, we have a Dazzle Beach one. Like, I do love these small rocks. However, they're like avatar blockers. So you can't run past them, which is always a bit of a pain. If you nestle them, they work really well. But like if you have them in the middle of the path, it will stop you being able to run, which honestly does get a little bit annoying. But I know that there's a cluster rock as well, a Dazzle Beach cluster, which always looks good. In whatever biome kind of you choose for that one. Am I going to be able to fit one over here? Not by the look of it. Any particular reason? Just those 2 pieces of furniture? Alright, well, if I move that back 1, I should be able to fit those rocks in. Yeah. Not that this needs them, to be honest, but... Oh yeah, I need to get to that. I need to get to that, don't I? So that tree might be an issue where it is, but if I move it to here... I think I should be able to run past the tree. I should be able to run past the tree in order to get to it, and then I can still use the crafting table. And then I've got the cooking station just over here. So I've got my little, like, I guess my landing point where I can now come in from the well and use stuff straight away, I suppose. That's the best way of putting it. Don't think I can fit one more palm out the back as much as I would like to, just because of this Fountain of Youth, but that's fine. And then finally, I don't know whether to put this out the back. Feels wrong because you can't really see it. So I do think that it needs to be like out at sea, maybe. Yeah, maybe where we had it, kind of like right next to Ariel's boat, wherever the hell Ariel's going. Like, that's really the only other place. I mean, it doesn't look too bad out the back like that, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, it could go next to that, I suppose. And that could be the tender that they use to get off the ship to land, but... Otherwise, it's just, like, directly behind the Fountain of Youth. Actually, maybe that's what it needs. Actually, no, you know what? I think that's what it needs. After saying no, I think that looks quite good. I think that's what it needs to be. Cool. I think this little area is now done. So this is my landing point for the biome. Everything I need in one place. I will buy that little bit for Scrooge, and then we can revisit the resort, which is a definitely a different vibe. All right, that means I can clean up these other little bits left over now. I do love the grate. I just don't know whether to use it in this build. Don't think it needs to be over here either, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. I can remove these other little leftover pirate bits, just like that, instead of the ground. And then I think I might revisit I might revisit this area, this little resort area again. Just before we eventually and finally move on to this more leisure section. What do I need? That's the question. What do I need? Let me go through, and sometimes when I get stuck, I know that not every item is assigned a universe or a category, but I do like to come through and I like to select kind of like some of the water categories, or, you know, a film or a movie or a franchise that kind of fits the vibe that I'm trying at the moment. So I'm just gonna select a couple that kind of feel a little bit more beachy or a little bit more tropical or something along those lines, and then we can see what's in there. So I've got Moana, Little Mermaid, Lilo and Stitch. See, we've got a nice butterfly. Peri, I like that one. We've got, what else have we got? Some nautical stuff. Actually, I guess the nautical stuff does kind of go. Like Max's houseboat actually looks really cute down in this build. But I don't know whether it's too on the nose to go fully nautical like that. But what other stuff have we got? I mean, we've got King Triton's throne. Some of the royal stuff from the seaside. I mean, then we've got some more tropical feeling stuff, which is where I start to prefer it. Like, I start to really like some of the tropical items. So maybe we could bring some of that in, because I think we're like Cape Cod-esque at the moment, but we could always bring some more tropical vibes to the beach. There is so much stuff. But I'm really looking and kind of thinking about what could go in this central section. Maybe as like a standout. I don't think the rocky pool. Well, no, see, again, the sand of that bothers me. As much as I love this item, I wish it was the same color sand as the beach itself, even though the item's really cute. And then that runs out, that's about it. So actually, I wonder if we've got ponds that could fit, because I know we've gotten a lot of ponds in the premium shop lately. We've got the Neverland one, which doesn't quite work. Celestial, definitely not. The teapot one is okay. Hot spring is too much like an onsen, and then we've only got the wintry one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think any of those quite work either. I'm also not sure on this butterfly, even though it's kind of got the red of the hibiscus. It doesn't quite match. So I think I'm going to get rid of that. But I know that we've got a bunch of other ones. Let me just see in the furniture menu what we've got for topiary. I mean, we've got the horse, but no, actually, this goes quite nicely. This is, I mean, I know the foliage doesn't really match in terms of color, but I quite like the fact that it's definitely like a centerpiece. What else have we got? I mean, we've got the peacock one, which could also work. Then I might have to remove those shrubs. The only thing I don't like about like some of these is I feel like they have to be back to back to really work. But I will say there's something about this Fae one that is kind of like fitting the bill for me on this, even though it feels like it shouldn't be. I kind of like how that looks. And then I wonder if maybe we bring in some smaller foliage around the edges. I don't know if a fence in any way could work around this. I feel like it might be like a little bit too tall. Let me get rid of that because it's hitting the edge. So it would have to be about there. But like, yeah, I don't know if that fence is too tall against the vibe, unless we did just one like diagonal fence. You know what I mean? Just like this inset in each corner. I do kind of like that because then you could still see through. That might be the vibe. Let's do it again. Here. And then finally let's do one here. And then if I jump into underbrush, these it's a shame about the color of the greenery itself, because the greenery itself is a little bit too yellow. It looks kind of dead, but I was thinking the flower color matches quite nicely. However, we do have, if I scroll down, actually no, if we go into trees, because the Storybook Vale ones I believe are in trees instead. And if we come down, we should be able to find the pastel flower patch, which always looks good. And then we've also got the ever-growing? Yeah, the ever-growing flower bush, which is obviously enormous. So maybe we use that somewhere else, but we use the little pastel patch in this area. Just to add a bit of greenery. And then I wonder, I don't think there's anything small enough, actually. I was going to say, I wonder if there's anything I could fit around the base of this ornament. Unless it ends up being beach grass. Kind of like that. Actually, I kind of think the beach grass works in a way. Let me undo that real quick. Let me just see if there's any small bits from like Eternity Isle, because I know that they're only one tile. So you could kind of, again, bring in some of the tropical vibes, maybe with those, or we could just leave those out of this section. We just have it as the beach grass. I always forget the reeds can only go in the water, because I would like them on land as well. But I think if I grab the beach grass again and we bring that in maybe there. Actually, if we do there and there. And it just needs to come back one to be properly centered. I think that's cute. Yeah, that's fun to me. Now, the one thing that I'm just wondering is, like, could I fit anything to do with the river kit in? No, just off. See, like, I do kind of like that. But it is a bit strange just having 2 bits of water, right? Somebody talked me out of it. No, it is a little bit odd having 2 bits of water. I accept that. Unless I had the edging. Like, you could have the edging like that? No. No, I should be good. I can't fit water in there. It's not necessary. I never thought about having, because I forgot that it picks up the edge of the biome. Like, it would be so cute to have. Can you imagine if we had like a little waterway just running around the edge? But I don't think you're going to be able to, because it takes up so much. Well, oh yeah, but then I can't do the corners, right? They need the extra tile to be able to do the corners. Wait. Oh, look at that. I didn't even realize I could do all that. Wait, that does look kind of cute though. Like, not in that spot, but is there somewhere that I could find to kind of place that? See, now it's grass again though. Now it's taken the sand away. Now that kind of looks like a trough. You know what it kind of looks like a trough. I wonder if there's any way that I could. I mean, the sea is right there. I guess it's not necessary. I'm just playing around and seeing what I can come up with, but just something to think of, that's all. Just something to ponder, but I will get rid of that for now, and I will leave that cute little bit just like that. And I'm thinking maybe I do maybe that. Actually, no, let's make it wider. That's better. And I'm going to leave that one a square, actually. I wonder if I could fit one of the pastel flower bushes down here. I can? Could I actually fit two of them? I can. So I move that over. I wonder if I just change this one edge. No, I kind of like it all being diagonal. I just kind of like how those flower patches sit and look in that space. Is it right on the corner? Yeah, we are. Just kind of like that. And then I don't think anything can go behind. Oh, we can put one behind it if we wanted to, I guess. What if I did the... I could do the trees there and we could just have three kind of like pastel bushes along the edge. That could be cute. And then I wonder if that fence is too high for this bit. Like, would it completely block the... Yeah, it would need to be all the way out there. Look at that. That's so silly. Let me get rid of that real quick. I do like adding like little flourishes like that though. Like we could do maybe something like this just on the corners. You know, just to make it feel intentionally designed. We could do something like that. You could even do... I wonder if we could do one single diagonal just off that. Yeah, you know, something like that. One single diagonal. Oh, does that look better there? Oh, why not both? Yeah, why not both? Let's do that. And then maybe we could even fit another cypress in. I'm really just doing anything at this point. Oh, that feels nice and regal. Right in the corners. Okay, fun. I like that. Yeah, that looks adorable, and I like the way it like comes out into this space. But actually, I'm just wondering whether I should do one more. Only because that's where that one comes out to, right? Actually, that's got the gap on it though, I guess, so... I was just looking at that, and that looks even now, but then obviously we've got the big gap. It's like if I did that... But then we're working at a point. Yeah, and that looks silly, so let me reverse that. And we'll just keep it the way it was. We'll just keep it the way it was. We could even do, though, actually, there's a... Where is it? I think it might fit. Yeah, the doormat? Like the stone doormat? That could be quite cute. Like, what if we did two of those next to each other? Fun. I like that. That creates the same illusion. Okay, that's looking good. Let's change direction again. So I know that we still have to finish this little bit over here. I'm pretty much happy with all of that. I just need to add some lighting. Down here, I think we'll just do some foliage, but I'm going to come across to this area now. So obviously I've got a few little bits down. I actually think it might be worth putting a few more down. So I think I'm going to do the same thing as we just did. I'm just going to filter by some of the more kind of like water-based franchises that we have in game, just to make sure that I'm kind of covering everything off. I know, again, there's a bunch of stuff in the other one, but let's do... Yeah, let's do those three, I think. Actually, let's do Little Mermaid too. So I do have Hey Hey's house, which I think is quite cute because it kind of matches like the look of this. We've also got... I don't think I'm going to put any of the mermaid stuff down. Moana's parade float I do really love, but my goodness, is this Is this enormous? If only it could go on water, it could actually look like a boat out there at sea. But right now, like, as cool as this is, it's just a little bit too big for the space, I guess. Like, I don't really... Like, it's a lot, right? I mean, maybe it could work as a real point of interest. Possibly. You know, like, you could have it, like, right... what if we flip it all the way around? Like, you could... it's still too big. Right? It's just too big. That's okay. We'll lose that. I don't want any of the nautical stuff for this section, but I am going to get out some of the more tropical bits. We can get out maybe some of the tables and, you know, some of the chairs. We do have the sun umbrellas solo. We do have the table solo. Canoe club, that sounds like some sort of resort area. We've got the ice cream as well, which is always fun. Island produce. I do actually think this goes. I do actually think it matches, so we're going to do that. Although I didn't know that pumpkins would be an island produce. Though I thought we had another one that was slightly less rusty, I guess, for lack of a better term. I know that we do have some of the lifeguard stations. We've got fruit as well, because I was thinking of making maybe a little like market area in some capacity. I think the gray one is a little bit boring, I guess. We do have another fruit stand. We've got some hammocks. This is kind of like the mood board that I said I didn't make at the start. I do love this fireball. What have we got? We got more trees with a hammock in. We've got more fruit and veg. The fronds, they always look quite cool. I like the wicker bar stool as well. We got the torch. Actually, I'm going to put the torch away just a sec, because I'll do lighting in a little bit. I will get round to foliage as well, so I won't put those down yet. I was thinking about like some of the, maybe some parasols or something, but kind of would prefer the bigger. Actually, I do kind of like the fancy mats. That could be like a yoga area, maybe. What else have we got? We've got another sun parasol. I always think the surfboards are quite fun too. These are taking up the whole biome. We could have the beach banquet down here. These tropical lounge chairs. These are the ones that feel a little bit more luxurious to me, I guess. I've never used that stone sink though. And then I do think that we should have a lifeguard in some capacity. It's just what color lifeguard chair we use. And then obviously we do have a couple more hammocks. We've got them in different colors as well. Oh, we've got them in purple. Wow, we really have a hammock in every color. I didn't even realize. The ice cream stand's in red. I think the... No, I think the blue lifeguard chair goes better because it's got the white. It's actually got the white wood. And I think for now that we'll kind of do. We'll just see. We'll see what we've got. So let's do... Where are people going to be at the beach? Probably around this dock area, right? Like this dock area could be somewhere that you jump off into the water. So I'm going to move Goofy's over there. I'm going to move Moana's stall over here. And maybe we could have our market area on this section. Maybe we could have maybe a transitional area and then maybe the beach area down here. So I'm just going to shift some of those out of the way. I didn't know whether to use any of the dock kit like just off the edge of this dock, because you could kind of like extend it if you wanted to, because you can get quite close. But then I was like, well, what's it going to? Like, I didn't have an idea of what to put out there or what it could actually reach. So I think maybe I'll leave that for now. But let's get these lounges in. I think maybe we'll do... Well, I've got 15 of them, but we do 3 there. maybe kind of like 2 that side? Do they even match? Did I over-rotate? I did over-rotate. But then if that's meant to be a path, like from there, do you really want to be lounging right by the path? But then also, do you want to be lounging right by a building? Well, what if I put that over here? Or what if I put that in front of this? How close can I get that? Oh, I've done it the wrong way. Like, could that house be at the end? Actually, that works a bit better, I think. Maybe if we did... Maybe that works better than it being on the shoreline, even though I do kind of like it on the shoreline. I think if we pop that out there, I can move this lighthouse somewhere else, and we can revisit what function that has later on. And instead of having the sun loungers on that side, maybe we can have them all on this side. So this is kind of the shoreline that you are relaxing on. Maybe we bring the lifeguard over that way. I think we could probably still get away with having... I think we could still get away with having the market area around here. Let me just... All right, you know what? I put too much stuff down, and now I'm going to have to move it because it's getting in my way. Let me just clear all this out a little bit so I've got a bit more space so I can see what is going on, and then we can bring it back in. So let's do up here. Get rid of all these hammocks and everything that's going on with those. And that just gives us at least a little bit more space. And I can move that up there too. Right, and we have the room. Perfect. Because obviously the sun sets kind of like over this way of Dazzle Beach. So this is always going to cast a relatively big shadow just because of the height of it. But I do like it being at the end of the dock, actually. I think that is quite fun. And then I think if we do... I don't even know if we can do this. But I was thinking maybe we do... like a semicircle... maybe here? Kind of like that, maybe? Or maybe I need an extra one to pull off the semicircle. Oh, does that feel awkward? Like, would you feel awkward sunbathing with people like that? People you don't know? And they're not usually in a circle, right? Because that's kind of giving, like, conversation pit. It's like, look at each other and talk. But I guess... I know the vibe that I want. It's just how I execute it. But no, actually, I do think that having... maybe even if they're spaced out a little more, they're not quite so close together. And then we hit the edge of the biome, which is unfortunate. But if I can, I might be able to grab those in a group and bring them kind of like out. All right, I do see the vision in that bit. I don't even know if those are spaced apart fully correctly. I mean, they look kind of right. We got 3 on each side. As that one is about... I think that one's about there. And maybe that one is more like that. I think that's about right. So let me see. I mean, they kind of go like right there, I think. And then we could always bring in some parasols between them. I wonder if we have any other... I think we do have other parasol in the game. I know we got this little new one from the Fae stuff. But again, the footprint doesn't really work out with that. Oh, and then we only have the automated one from Wall-E. Okay. So maybe we do one of these like every other. And it could be back a little bit. So more towards the back. One there, maybe. Okay, and then if we bring this one round like that. Yeah, we could do something like that. I think that works. And then if we bring in maybe some of the different elements from the bundle. I think it's the Island Getaway bundle, the Lilo and Stitch one, because it uses the same kind of like thatching for the top of the parasol. I think we can tie that together because there's not that many rooms here, right? I was thinking of like a big resort kind of like sun lounging area, but that doesn't make sense because like if that was a real resort, there's really not that many rooms. I did just remember that I have this kind of like tropical stand in my inventory as well. It's quite difficult to remember just how many items are in the game now, so I do wish that there was a way for me to be able to group my own groupings. Like I could create my own category or something in the furniture menu that would be tropical, and then I could see all the items I've assigned as tropical rather than the game. That's definitely something to think of, GameLoft, hopefully. The actual texture on these sun loungers looks a little bit strange at the moment. Almost looks a little bit metallic, but maybe that's just because they're in the shade. It doesn't look so bad on the left ones in the sun, but on the right ones it looks a little bit odd. But this is the vibe that I want to go for, like as you come out of this, I guess, accommodation area would be the right way of saying it, into more of like the tropical theme, especially because we've got all the matching kind of like the straw roofs and things like that. I think that's definitely the way that I want to go. We've got a canoe club sign, which I think could be quite fun. Maybe out this side, and we could actually put some canoes out the back, or maybe out this side. But I definitely want to use that in some capacity. Unless we just had it right next to the building, and then the building itself could be like the canoe club. Oh wait, I guess we could do that. If I move... Actually, no, I could leave that there. If we have the sign next to this, I think we have canoes. If I actually search it, we've got a couple of different canoes. So we've got the ancient one, we've got a carved one, we've got a leafy one, and we've got like... I think this is Pocahontas's one. Pocahontas's one looks like the best match on color. Like the leafy one is fun, but I think the Pocahontas one is the best color match. So we could just go ahead and put maybe a couple of canoes out here, just floating off to the side. That's a good idea. And then that's how you get down to them. I don't remember if there was something fishing related that we can put in the... Oh yeah, fishing trap. I forgot that they could be placed in the water too. I've only got one of those, but at least it's a little extra something in the water, I guess. Which is why I said earlier I would love a water filter, so I know what actually can go in the water. All right. I think we're kind of getting there. Now that I look at this chair again, I'm not even sure that it... We should have a lifeguard chair, but I'm not sure that it fits. Oh wait, look, we've got a tropical one. That solves the issue. What's the difference between these two? Is there a difference? No, there isn't. So actually, I'm going to go with the tropical lifeguard chair because it just feels like it matches a little bit better. And that could even go right in the corner. Ideally, it will go there, but obviously I need to remove that little sand thing. Okay, this is starting to come together. This feels good. I don't know how to make this feel a little bit more luxurious. Let me see what I've got up. Let me see what I've got up here. I think we could definitely... We could definitely bring some shrubbery in like this to block... I was just thinking to block the view of... Well, that doesn't really block the view. But you know what I mean? Like to kind of keep this area separate, I guess? Although, I wonder if I've got a... Do we have any screens? Because there's nothing really that high. Okay, we've just got projectors. Yeah, that's not really gonna cut it. But that definitely brings a tropical vibe, especially with the archway, because we could even have the archway kind of like right there, right walking on to this log bridge over to the other section. And I wonder if those could fit either side. Cute, just like that. That's adorable. And let me jump into rugs quickly, because I'm wondering if there's any kind of... This says rustic, but I guess it feels like it could work. I'm just wondering, what rug would you see on a beach? Would you even see a rug on a beach? Probably not, but strange things have happened. The lion one is probably the closest match, but I still don't really love that, so maybe we don't go with a rug. I'll come back to this section where these are. So let's try and get our, I guess, our market area feeling a bit stronger. I think if we bring... No, I know what it needs. It needs like a winding path. That's what it needs. So let's make sure we got this market going down. Let's do Moana's here. Maybe we could have... Maybe Goofy's right next to this one. Yeah, roundabout there is fine. Actually, that's even better. Let's do that. And then what else have we got? There was something else I wanted to place down. Yeah, I had this island food truck, right? But I'm kind of going back on that now. I feel like I don't want that anymore. So we're going to leave that out. We do have the, what is it? Luke's ice cream? Yeah, Lukey's Shave ice cream. We could have maybe some of that on offer. Maybe next to Moana's. Or even tucked. What if we tuck that in there? No. Let's do it. Let's do it over here. And then I wonder if we have any seating outside of this, like, refreshment stand area. We do have these lovely trellises as well, which I really love. Oh, and then we've also got the ice cream cart. I love that I put all of this stuff down and now I'm forgetting it exists. Like, but they could go together kind of like that though, right? I think that works. And then Moana's could even come kind of like just around there. Oh, that's the screen that I was thinking of. Something like this, you know? Something we do... Okay, it's not going to fit, but if we do something... Something along those lines. Let me grab those. Move those back there. Just to separate the areas slightly. Then obviously we've got all these hammocks in the trees. There are so many things. I keep forgetting about all of the things, although it seems to not want to go in the middle. We seem to have a blockage of something invisible, so I'll have to sort that out before we place anything else there. And I think that might be it for like I guess the bigger items. Like we could have the seats down here, maybe again with some of the same type of roof. But if we just had maybe 3 of those, I'm thinking maybe something like just trying to get the right layout, something like that maybe. And then I do have a bunch of different seats. So I know that those are the island ones, but we did get another seat, which I equally like. And I think this came with one of like the moonstone houses at one point. But it always looks good when you use the woods that kind of match. Let's do that. Let's place one there, there, and maybe there. So we've got some nice seating down. Now I do think that a rug could work under these. Okay, yes, look at that. It fits perfectly underneath the parasol. Yes. Okay. Now, I think I want to move that one just slightly further out. No, I don't. Do I? No. Let's do it back by there. Actually, they don't need to be so far away, I guess. We can bring this one down to about here. And I think we could probably have that one about there. And we can do the seat facing that way. Yeah, cool. Let's do one there, one there, and I'm going to bring this one around over that side. So that looks pretty good, actually. I like the vibe of that. And then I place this wooden beam down. Now we do have, see, that's a cottage beam. I don't even think I have the rafter for that, but if I search rafter, I was wondering if there's, yeah, see, there's a rafter, but if I search beam, we have the mini ranch beams. I didn't know whether I could make some sort of like outdoor pergola type thing. I might need to build that somewhere else to bring it down. What if I try building something over on this space a sec? Like, I don't know how big it should be. But I don't think I have a corner piece either, which is kind of wild. Unless they just go together like this. Maybe they do. And then maybe I just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I guess we could place maybe one of these here. 1, 2. Although it should be right in the center, right? It should be there and there. And then I could do... Do I have enough? I do. So that's like kind of a cute little like pergola structure. But now I'm like, well, where does that go? But I don't hate it. It popped into my head. I was like, wait, I could do something with those. I don't know whether they could go... I can't place them down here. That sucks. I was hoping to place it like right on the edge of the dock kit. I wouldn't be able to fit one down here either though, which is a shame. Unless it went over like the ice cream, or maybe we don't have it at all. That might be a valid option too. But you know, I was just kind of thinking, would it fit for anything? Does that look kind of fun, or maybe it feels a bit too much? But I do have the rafters. If I search rafter instead of beam, but these ones are the Pocahontas ones, I think. So they're slightly more foresty, I guess, because they've got kind of like the drying stuff on them. So that's always an option. What if I get rid of those two and just connect those? I mean, the colors still work, but it's not quite the real solid built kind of structure that I was going for, if that makes sense. Kind of like this. You see, this feels chunky. This feels substantial. That's not really matching the vibe that I was I was anticipating. I do also have these mats though, like these little sunbathing mats. Now, do I have these in addition? Do I have these instead of? What do we have over here? So many questions still to think about. Unless we had a specific like yoga area. I actually don't mind that. I quite like having a yoga area over there. For some morning yoga. Let's say it's facing the sea. And that could be amongst the foliage. And we could have a nice little bit of foliage over on that side. I think that could work. So the next thing I want to do is I just want to see whether the best thing to put for a path in this area is these stones kind of coming off. Because I want one coming out here. I think winding around. And then around there would be cool. This specific one feels a little bit too close. I think I put that a bit too close for comfort. So I'm going to pop that maybe out there, but then that feels too far away. You see? If I do something like that. And it's always good to, because especially we have grouping now, it's always good to check a rotation to see if there's like a rotation that would work slightly better. Because if you wanted to, you could have them around, you could have them actually around the stand like that, but then they get a little bit close to Goofy's. So unless I move this maybe about there. All right, I think that could work. And yeah, what I was talking about was the other option would be to use more of this like driftwood path. Because I can't remember, and I don't think it can. Where are those stones? Can they go on this driftwood path? If they can, then it might solve my problem. No, they can't, sadly. So it's either these stones or it's either the path. Part of me is leaning towards the path. But we'll see what the stones look like first, and we'll see how effective they are. We've got it kind of coming in like that. Actually, I want it a little bit more winding. Let's do that there. So it's got slightly more of a curve to it. Let's come out. Actually, I'm going to make sure I come over here too to make a start. So we'll do maybe this way. Rotate that one. We'll come back on ourselves this way. Over here. And we can do the break off on this section. No, I think I want to use the driftwood. I just think it's going to work a little bit better. I only have 25. Nope, I have 59 of these. Okay, well that makes it a bit easier. Because I might be able to get the curves that I kind of wanted a little bit better from this one. Let's do that. Let's do it. One this way. Actually, let's make that a bit closer. Coming across like this. Down maybe. Then across again. And then we could come down there. I think maybe it feels a little bit too close together. Maybe I could spread them out a little bit more. Let's try that. So we'll try and keep like a similar gap between them all. What have we got? That looks okay. And we can do this one straight for one. Actually, no, we could probably already curve that. Maybe another little, No, then we could have it straight. Then we can have the curve start to come back. And we can have that one come off there. Okay, and that's about as close as we can... That's about as close as we can get. Roundabout there. No, I'm still not sold on that. Even though I like it, I'm still not sold on it. Let me try actual pathing real quick. Let's just see where we go when we use, like, the diagonal. Let's see how it turns out. So it'd be about here. It's probably going to be 3 wide on that front. Bring that down. Obviously that needs to be wider. Oh my goodness. And then what would we do? We'd come across. You know what? It's kind of easier sometimes just to do it yourself rather than using the diagonal mode. I just find it easier anyway. Let's do that. Let's come up and then we can go across to that one. Kind of like that. And then we can make it a little bit beefier. To bring it out to a real size path rather than a single file path. All right, let me change all those and see what that looks like. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't. Let me just try a different actual flooring with it. What if we did... Oh no, not leaf strewn. Ugh, definitely not muddy. Not on the beach. Yeah, I mean, still, kind of none of these are speaking to me. I do kind of like the slate. But I think it's gonna have to be the boardwalk effect. I do. As with all of my builds, I think once I start getting some foliage into this section, I'm gonna feel a lot happier with it. But for now, we're gonna work with what we've got. For better or worse. See, I like these like corner pieces on the driftwood path, but they end up making it like they're really handy to have, but they end up making it feel like real path, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like it's very structured. It doesn't have the whimsy to it. So you know what? We're just gonna have to work it out. We're gonna have to go with this, and I think they need to be close. Okay, so I think they're gonna have to touch each other, or at least be as close to look as though they're kind of touching each other. Maybe we don't start it directly from there. Maybe we start it from just off that point. And I think if we come down... See, it already loses the whimsy as soon as I do that. Some people really are just super talented with these paths. I feel like I'm not somebody. Like it just looks higgledy-piggledy. I want it to be like nice and free-flowing. Where have I gone so wrong? Friends, where have I gone so wrong? Let's try this again. You're stuck with me while we do this, okay? Kind of like that. But then I guess coming off this section, I'm not really going to be able to have... Right, I'm not really going to be able to have it like free-flowing unless I was literally just doing this the whole way. And then I hit Moana's anyway, so... Unless you're actually doing that, it doesn't quite make sense. So I'm going to have to concede and have it just go like straight in some parts. And then we could have it, turn. So maybe I come off this bit first rather than the other bit, because I'm going to need one bit here coming out here, and then I'm going to need one bit going over there, because it's going to have to be like a crossroads, right? So we could always do something like that. Perhaps that feels a bit better. Oh no, even that feels okay. Let's do that. And let's have this. Oh, I'm super close to the edge. But that's okay, because it feels like that's one of those things we can move. See, just like this. That's better. Do another one. And then we can't, I guess we can do that, and it just kind of like sits over the edge, but I'm not sure. Actually, no, I quite like. I'm just talking to myself at this point. But let's keep going. Because we might be able to make something out of this after all. Let's do this. And then let's have that one go straight just for like one. Do that round about there. And then let's have it come off to the side. And then we've got to do the same split that we had kind of like by here. So what did we do? We had one come down here. Well, actually, maybe we don't need to do that yet. Let's do it coming from this way. Because then that should be in line. Just about. Kind of like that, I guess. Oh, why didn't I think about staggering these ones out kind of like that? Too annoying if you were trying to walk on them? Maybe. Or do we just stick with the straight line, and I can rotate them just to break up the pattern? Yeah, okay. Well, off the back of that, let's come down here. And then that's as close as we can get, actually, anyway, so... I think we're just going to have to... Yeah, we hit it round about there, so we're just going to have to accept that one for what it is. Then I guess we've got room to kind of... Well, I don't even know if we've got room to come off just one to this area. Maybe we just do that. Maybe it's as simple as that. Although this one should be over here. So we could do... Could I fit one more in if I did that? Yes, but it looks terrible. What a shame. I thought we might be able to squeeze one right in on the end there. All right, that's fine. That works. Is it the perfect solution? No. Is it a solution? Yes. And I quite like the swooping nature of it. That's really what I was trying to get. All of that was to try and just get that. So yes. we got there in the end. We got there in the end. Okay, let me save that to make sure we don't lose it after all of that hassle. And I guess that means I can tweak the placement of these slightly now that I know where kind of like the boundaries are of the area. So we can move maybe that there, that one a little further up, just kind of like that, so they fit in the space a little bit better. And then Goofy's, I think, is the only thing that kind of looks a little bit lost. So I'm wondering actually if we swap Goofy's with these two, because these two feel like they belong more with the stand, right? You've got the ice cream stand, and then you've got like the shaved ice. So they feel like they belong a little bit better in that section. And then Goofy's really feels over here as though it belongs with Moana's, just off the back of there. It's just a case of where we actually place that. Do we angle it? I quite like it angled like that a little bit. I'm definitely not blocking any of the mining nodes or anything because there aren't any over this side. I mean, otherwise we could just move... What if we move Moana's over here instead? Because that feels like a bigger space. So Moana's could go right on the edge like this. I mean, it could even go flat. As much as I hate making things flat now that we have the ability to do diagonal, maybe Moana's does feel like it fits a little bit better flat. Or actually... I mean, it also kind of works like this. It works both angles, really. Oh. Except that one. No, I think it has to be flat. I think it has to be flat, and then I think Goofy's might even be able to come down late. Either here or rotated this way. I think rotated that way is a little bit better, so it's kind of still on the path angle. Well, it's not really on any angle right now. Unless we did Moana's over here. Could I fit? No, it doesn't fit under Moana's boat. That's a shame. I thought that I could maybe fit an extra bit of path down there. Let's do that, and let's do that for Goofy. Or we could set him back, and we could have him have his own path coming off the edge. Maybe... Oh, unless we did it here. I kind of like that, actually. I don't really know how to make the separation yet between this area and Goofy's. It might be the case that we put cluster of foliage behind this area, but we can get to that. Yeah, I like that with Goofy's stall. Actually... Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done, I promise. With that section anyway. Not the whole thing, but that section. Oh, I forgot about the fruit and veg stands. How did I forget all about these? And where am I going to place these? Let's keep the market vibe going. Let's do ice cream. Let's do fruit and veg. What have we got? We've got that one as well. And we've got the white one, I think. And I think that's it for fruit and veg. I mean, we do have the crates, which I could place down, which always feel... I don't know. There could be fruit in them. Oh, and then we've also got these watermelons and this other basket of fruit, which looks super yummy. All right, so let's put Lukey's shaved ice just there, next to that. Let's do the ice cream stand. Let's put the ice cream stand over there for a second. As well as the crates. Because what are these? Are these the same? One's wood and one's white? Yeah, one's wood, one's white. I think maybe the wood one... The wood one goes a bit better, right? Just by the nature of it. So let's do them back to back with the fruit. With the other fruit just like that. Actually, no, that feels too big now. All right, let's do this instead. Can I bring that down here? Is that as close as I can get it? I was just thinking, how could I make this more square? But I don't think that I can. I mean, that looks very tasty. All of that looks really good. Let's take that and let's rotate it. And then let's place it. Oh, let's place it there. And that's basically like a perfect fit. Yeah, let's do that. And then I think maybe I just move that one out like that. Okay, cool. I like that. I do like that. I'm gonna get rid of those now so I know that I've kind of like used them up. I did place this bonfire. I mean, I placed a lot of stuff down. I placed this bonfire pit down. I placed that place setting down. I don't think that we need... I honestly don't think that we need any of that, to be honest. Like, this is kind of coming together. I also am in two minds about the ice cream stand, to be entirely honest with you. Just based on what we're seeing. But I guess I could maybe place it, like, out the back this side. Although I was going to put foliage out the back of that, so it would have to kind of go round about here. But I mean, you could get ice cream right on the way in to this area, which could be cute. Do we want the path jumping on over like that? No, I don't think we do. And then I do feel like Hey Hey's house should have a place. Like, I can't help it. I just feel like it should. Do I know where? No. Could we do it the other side? Actually, could we do it like just in this area? Like right next to the house? So was there anywhere I could put this crate? Or were we a bit... Are we a bit full? Ah, there we go. I guess we could have it out the back like that. And then I wonder if I could place a single crate. Do I have a single one? I do. A single one just on this side. And then we put Lukey's just over that way. Okay, he still fits. He still fits like that. That's cool. All right, great. Yes, this looks good. And then I think just down in this area, obviously I've got these screens, but they're not really giving. Like, could you have a private area? That's what I'm toying with now in my head. Like, could you have these separated so you get your own private space? Like, that could actually be... That could be quite fun. Let me see if we can move just this over. You know, so it's kind of like your own space. You don't have to worry about sharing. Kind of like a private cabana, I guess. I kind of like that idea, actually. Let me explore that on this section too, because if I move this over, we could bring this one in. Now, how far was it? Not a million miles, probably about there. Is that about right? I think maybe across one more. Or just up one. And then they line up? Not really. Let's do that. And then those ones are still kind of curving around. So does that one still need to curve around? Oops, we went back too far. Unless this one should be rotated. No, that's right. Yeah, the rotation's right. It's just me. Honestly, story of my life, that's just me. Yeah, we could do like couples private spaces. Which is a fun idea. Let's bring the parasols in a little bit. Maybe you want to space out slightly, but there's a place for you for sure, but I just need to find you. Maybe you are back there to be in the middle. All right, yeah, that's fine. That works. Actually going to bring that one forward, just one. And then the lifeguard could be off maybe on this side. Just kind of watching out over the water, making sure everybody's safe, you know, all those vibes. Just behind Hey Hey's. Cute, I kind of like that. And that feels a little bit more cohesive for the area. Part of me still wants to have that one like rotated on the end, so maybe I just do that to satisfy myself. And then we've got a nice little semicircle on this area. I'm gonna grab them in group mode. I'm just gonna, oops, I grabbed too much. Just gonna move them slightly. Just ever so slightly adjusting them. Nope, still don't like the staggered path. I thought I'd try it, just real quick, just in case. Let's get that saved. And then I think let's get to the point where we start thinking about foliage, because I think I've done enough playing around with the little elements, even though I still love like these wicker chairs, even though I still love like these granite fireballs, like these are really fun. But I just can't help but think like, I don't think it needs it. Maybe it does, and maybe I'm silly, but I think that we're doing pretty good with this. Oh, I forgot about my turtles. That's why you shouldn't move them. Oh no. Unless we had them over here and we scrap our yoga area. But damn, I was meant to get these guys in. Like here would be kind of cute though. Just a shame about the path, I guess. But what if I did like, what if I did that there? And what if we just brought that to here? Or maybe got rid of this one as well. Right? Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could bring this out to about there. Let me see how that looks. think that works, friends. We can still get them in. That's still like the welcome to the beachy area, I feel. And it looks super cute, right? Like, it looks adorable. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get those guys in just about there. The path looks good like that. I don't know if it looks... Actually, yeah, I could do it even just with that. Coming to a point like this. Shame we can't get kind of like down here any further. Because it hits the edge of the biome. I'll just get rid of that. Okay, that feels good. So I'm going to get some foliage in, and I think the first bit I'm going to do is this little section just behind the shack, just so you're not looking at the kind of like the back of it. So I'm just going to jump into the trees. We're going to grab some of the palm trees. Let's do... Actually, yeah, let's do one out the side, just like that. There. And then maybe we could do... I mean, we've got the space, I guess. So even though that's got a big footprint, we could do one of those. Perhaps one of those. And then I think the smallest one would work. And then maybe one of the big dune trees. One of these, because I think these are from Eternity Isle. Yeah, they're from the Glittering Dune. So one of those could fill out that space. Although that looks like I've just placed everything in a square. Not ideal. Oh, and then maybe we just do one of the big giant flowering shrubs in the middle, just like that. And then I could always bring some beach grass in. Throw that just on the edges, although maybe I can't because it doesn't seem to like that with those particular palm trees. So we can do one there. And I think we can probably do one. Yeah, one down by there, just like that. There we go. See, just a couple of pieces of foliage just like that makes it feel so much better, at least in my opinion. Maybe that might be wrong. I'm going to grab some of the small cluster rocks as well, and I'm just going to bring that over just in that little gap that I could see. So I could see that right there, and it was kind of bugging me. So we're going to put that just in that space, tuck it in a little bit, and then that already fills that out. So that looks good. I'm happy with that. We will revisit this area. I'm starting to get dig spots everywhere, so I'm going to have to dig those up. But I think this will be the last section that we do, and I'll probably want to put maybe some stuff on the docks as well, if I can. Not going to touch that bit, but let's come back over here and let me just take a super quick scroll through. I don't want the sunlit ones just because they're a different color, but I do love the dune trees. I do think they're really, really cute. I love the texture on them. Let's put one on each side because we know that they actually fit. So we could do maybe one here and one there. Or maybe I could even do a small one here and then another big one by there. Because that kind of blocks the view then down towards the area that we're keeping. We could do maybe that, and maybe I even bring this one like... I think 3's too much. I think 2's fine over there, and I could do 2 and some of the palm trees. Like we could maybe have this one... Maybe have this one on this side, and it kind of like... Oh, can I even fit that behind here? Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Okay, I guess you could have it like coming over the edge like that. I'm going to move this one just away slightly from the edge so I don't have the green grass in it, because that always bugs me. Then we've still got space to put some of these other palm trees in. So let's do one as close maybe to the water as we can get. And then we can bring another one in on this side, and maybe even the smallest green one just next to that. If space allows, if Moana's boat allows. Here we go. Just like that, just to make it feel nice and enclosed. We could also do, just looking at this hibiscus arch, I guess we could also do that like coming from this area too. Like you could have it just by there, right at the start of that is nice. And maybe we even make a thing of it and do it like right over here as well. It's really bugging me that I can't fit this extra one in, but I guess I could if I came right back with those. I can, but then we don't have any spaces or any gaps. So I'd have to do, what, that over here, and I definitely wouldn't be able to fit that in, but actually that's fine. I like that. Okay, let's find a place for some more of these dune trees. Let's do one out the back because I know it's going to fit out there. Let's do an even taller one on this side because we can. Let's make that right up against the wall though. Actually, you know what? I don't think I need one there. I think we could go with this palm here that kind of like encroaches over the top of this area. Just like that. I do always like putting trees like in the middle of builds as well. You see, just kind of like that, just to add a bit of variation. But I don't think I'm going to use this particular one just because it is so tall and enormous. But it can go over there in that area, which is nice. Let's do one over there, and then let me grab... Actually, let me grab this small one. And I wonder if that would fit. Yeah, that kind of fits in that area. Just like that. So because of the footprint of that, I think if I get this down first, anywhere that I might want it, that would help. Actually, I don't even think it looks very good there. So let me get rid of that one. And let me just see. Could we fit it over this side? No, because of the sign. Could we fit it in this bit? Maybe? Actually, I don't think it's necessary. So we'll just go with the other ones we've got instead. So we'll do this little palm tree just over here. I feel like this area needs something just right here. Maybe it needs to be split out like that or angled like that. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's grab this one again that kind of like leans. Because this one could lean over the entrance to the house, or it could lean out the back of the sign. It could lean out the back of the sign over this way. Or it could lean over like this. I don't... Yeah, let's do it over that bit. And then I'm going to bring in this taller one. This taller one on this side. And then we're going to move the canoe club sign to about here. Let's do it... Yeah, let's do it about there. So it's kind of in line with that instead. There we go. And then we can fill that space with some nice foliage. I'm just going to grab a couple more of these. One by there. I'll just accept the grass coming through. I think maybe we could pop one, like, if it fits next to this, but I don't know if it's going to. Doesn't seem like it wants to. And we can't put grass on that. So you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice that one for now. And instead, we're gonna have one of those. And one of the small ones just in the middle. And then we could have one maybe next to the lifeguard station. Yeah. That looks good. That all looks cute. I like how that's coming together. And then we can go through and we can have the smaller flourishes, like some of the grass that we saw. But actually, I think maybe before I do the grass, let me jump into the underbrush menu, because I want to scroll down to the Eternity Isle section because we've got all of those single tile tropical plants in here. And these are so good for space filling. Like you could even have little tropical plants just growing out of the various areas as well. Especially where there's some more open stuff because there's not as much pathing down here, which means you kind of like don't get as much pattern on the floor. So you're looking at the biome floor a lot. And when that happens, it can be harder to, I guess, fill the space out properly because like looking at that, it looks like it's missing something, right? So I think if you go ahead and you just place like a couple of clusters, some of the foliage or some of the underbrush or anything like that, it just really helps it come to life a little bit better. So I've got one there. We could do maybe one out the front here. And what else have we got? I know we've got the ombre brush. Don't know whether I think the tangle one doesn't really go here. And to be honest, I don't know if the ombre one does. So it might just be that we use these two kind of like fan palm ones. And we work with those instead. We can place one just over there. Maybe one either side of the entrance. We could kind of like cluster them up against these little things just to add even more privacy. Although that might be touching you while you sunbathe, which doesn't sound like an ideal situation. And then I think that's about it for like the tropical-esque stuff, apart from, of course, these big flower bushes. Now, if there's anywhere else I can fit these, I definitely will, like behind here. Maybe we could do one. I was going to say maybe we could do one in the middle, but I think it might be too big in that space. Although it would be perfect on this corner, right? Let me move those a sec. I feel like it goes... maybe it's too big on the corner. Yeah, it's too big on the corner, but the pastel patch might work. Pastel patch with one of the trees. Let me grab maybe the small one. No, I think I like the yellower color of this one. Kind of like that. Then we could even put like a little fan palm just on the other side of it. So we do have these to use as well as optional kind of like extras. Maybe we can place one. You know what? We're actually doing a great job with using most of the space. So I might not need this extra pastel patch bush. Instead, maybe we could just go back to the grasses and kind of sneak those in a couple of places. Just on the edges. I don't want to cover any of the turtles because they look super adorable. At the back, maybe in this area. Doesn't like one of those. What don't you like? Oh, you don't like the dune trees. Okay, good to know. We can't clip into the dune trees. But I guess we could maybe pop them just behind the sunbeds. Kind of like that. And I don't know if did I place a small table? Because I know, getting distracted a little bit, but I know I've got a small table, the orchard table, but I thought I had a small circular one that was like super tiny. Just having a look, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I know I've got the barrel table, but that feels a bit bigger. I was just wondering if a table should be in between them as well. But maybe it was the orchard one up here that I was thinking of. Like maybe that should be between, where possible, that should be between the sun lounges. Something like that. Because you need somewhere to put your drink, right? That's just it has to be done. think something like that works. And then we could place a little tropical drink on each of those, which would be cute. Just gonna have a quick look around just to make sure there's nowhere I can fit this big flowering bush, because there we go, we can sneak it in at the back. Because it's so vibrant, it does give me super tropical vibes. I don't think in the middle of the tables is very helpful, so I won't place it down there. But I wonder if maybe these could be placed anywhere. I don't know. Now I'm thinking like, okay, well, could I place those right behind these, just to, again, create that idea of separation and add that little extra bit of tropical nature. Oops. Yeah, I was just seeing if we could get around that, but I don't think we can, so. I think that looks good. That definitely feels tropical, at least to me. Definitely feels like a resort. Now I just want to grab some of these rocks, again, just to add a little bit of texture, I guess, a little bit more realism. We can just find some places to kind of dot those around. Doesn't really matter if they come over the path or anything like that. Maybe place one just over here in the stones. On the edge, maybe? And then maybe one just over there like that. See how quickly that came together when you start adding foliage? It looks super cute. Super cute, super adorable. Okay, I think maybe we're done with this section. If I just look up here, I don't think that there's anything else really that I want to place down in this area now. It feels very fleshed out, so yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, so obviously we've done those two now, and I'm happy with how those have come out. So we've got tropical, we've got pirate, and then we've got kind of like resort, I guess. This bit is the only bit I would say maybe missing some vibes, if vibes is the right word. I don't know whether to add an extra bit of dock on there or not, or whether to just leave them a little bit shorter. Can't decide. I think shorter. I think shorter. So I think that foliage is missing over here for sure. I think we do need some sort of like clustered foliage area. But now I'm wondering, I've got these as kind of like, I don't know, I had them down as yoga mats. I'm just going to remove that for a sec. I wonder if we have an area with the bonfire. I'm just going to search and see if we've got another fire of any sort. I mean, we do have the Storyteller's Fire, which is the Pocahontas item. We got the book fire pit, but I don't really want to use the books, to be honest. And then we do have a couple of other fire-esque things, but I think the bonfire pit is the nicest one. So I was just kind of thinking like, oh, I know what I would love. Somewhere to make s'mores, just like off the beach, you know? Like you could walk over here. So I think I might get rid of the mats, the yoga mats, and I think we might do like a s'mores area just off the side of this. And then if I cluster up, I was just thinking, if I cluster up this section without the ice cream, I could just do kind of like beach foliage. Click OK on that. And then I don't think there's another like small cluster like that works. But what I could do is I could just bring that preset in, and I can just put maybe one here. And then maybe one there, you know, like that. And then I could just remove any duplicates, or if it feels a little bit too duplicated, we can just move them around a little bit, make them fit a little bit nicer. And then suddenly you've got You got a nice little cluster of stuff that fits the biome or fits the decor that you're going for, just like that with the presets. That's why they're nice and easy to use. So I really do love those presets. Let's have that coming out there. I'm gonna move the bonfire off a sec, and I'm just gonna grab this section, and we're gonna find a better place for that. Maybe we do that way instead. Actually, wait, I think that fits. I think that fits the strongest, just to block that area off, because you can't really, if I remember, you can't really decorate down here. I mean, you can place bits and bobs, but it's not the area you can kind of like do the most with. Obviously, you can pop a couple of those down, maybe. Actually, I might even use the bigger one just out the back. Oh, the bigger one, did I grab it? Might just use the biggest one over about by there. And I could bring in maybe the fan palm. And then that looks good. So then we could have the bonfire kind of like over this area. Maybe we could even have two. Yeah, I guess we could have two. Now, if I remember correctly from the Summer Sizzle event, I think they're called camp chairs. Although I don't know if I have any right now. I mean, if I search chair, I'm about to get all of the chairs, right? But I know that there's like a camping specific chair. Oh, the outdoor lounge chair. Like, does it massively go? Probably not. But I think it kind of works for what we're going for. If that makes sense. So I think we could start breaking up. Because we got a nice cluster of foliage, but then I think we need a little bit more in the space. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to save this as a preset. Because I'd need the materials to remake it. But if I jump into presets, I can then place it down. Where should we do it? There? Yeah, let's do it there. Don't know what I'm hitting at that point, but then I can just jump out of furniture mode. I can come over and we can just make them in situ. We can make, and make. And then we've got some nice chairs in play. I'm going to rotate these a little bit just because they are bugging me that they were facing exactly the same way. So we could do maybe something like that, and then maybe this one round about there. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. I don't know what else should go in this area for camping. I don't think I have really anything. I don't really have anything campsite related. I mean, this is all the tropical stuff, but yeah, I don't think there's anything campsite related unless I search camp again and something magically appears. I mean, we do have this campsite, but this is a bit more florally. Again, this is from Honeyglow Woods, so it's a little bit more whimsical, I guess. I think this is fine for what we're going for. I like the idea of having the two. I don't really know what to put in this section. I think I might just leave this section as it is. And we could just fill in some more of the space with the stuff we have already down. Like the beach grass and the palm trees. And we can just kind of like make this feel a little bit more enclosed, I guess. What do we got? We got a tree over here. Let's do that. Let's grab some of the smaller palms that we've used. Because I noticed that they were absent. We could have that kind of like maybe right on the edge of the biome, so I'm not blocking my own way when I come down. this path. Maybe some rocks just over here, just maybe about there. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe we have some grass on this side. And then maybe we even sneak a little pastel patch in somewhere. Around about there. See, that looks cute. Just these little clusters of foliage make such a big difference. Yeah, cool. I like that. That looks good. And we'll do a little one out the back, just like that. Okay. So I would say that area is done now, even though that didn't take too long. Actually, I was just looking at that and I was like, wait, can I get some rocks in there? Yeah. So then the final bit is really like this section, I guess, which I do like how it looks. But I think it just needs like a little extra something. A little extra something, and I don't know what the something is right now. I mean, we could use some more of the... fencing. We got this elegant white fence. Like, should we use it? We could put it maybe here and have it come diagonal up that section. Kind of like that. Worth trying at least. Let's put one down there and bring it up again. That looks kind of fun. We could do the same on this side. Just out like that. It might be a little bit small of a path for like my avatar, but we can see what it looks like, because it just adds a bit of life. Do you know what I mean? It just adds a bit of life. I still don't think... Actually, yeah, let's do that all the way out. Let's do that all the way out, and then let's put one of these on each edge. There we go. That looks cute. And I don't know if I can fit one. Oh, I can fit one in here. Ah, I can only fit it on one side. I guess I'd have to do it there and there, but then I'm not really going to be able to run past that, which is a pain. So I guess we'd just have it on that side. Maybe we even put one down here. So we've just got some color in some more places. And then I'm looking at these and I'm like, I can surely use these cypress trees again, just to regal everything up a bit. So we can maybe do something like that. I wonder if we could even fit one behind here at all. Only by there, so that feels a little bit too far back. If I move those across, is there then a space? No, did I not even open up a single space for myself down there? But if I do that one, maybe move that across. Across or down? Down? You're nearly touching the edge, but you are touching the edge. I guess they are in the same place. Oh no, there we go. And then we could fit that in like that. So where are you? Are you just in like, you're just after the... Just after that, like that. There we go. Alright, that's kind of fun. And then we do have these plaza trees, which I actually think look really good. So I guess we could we create like a little structured build? with those, maybe. Just on the edge. And then maybe we could put the big flowering bush on the end to like cap that off. You know, just like kind of like that. I think that works. Let's try that on the other side. Let's see how that looks. I just like this side being a little bit more like dainty. Dainty is probably the wrong word, but it feels a little bit nicer. Not nicer, but it feels a little bit more structured, I guess. But obviously with the pastel colors, it's less kind of like tropical Copacabana. It's more of a serene vibe. Maybe serene's the word that I was looking for, not dainty. We'll go with serene. All right, cool. Yeah, actually, that looks quite good. Now, I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think there's like fishing or anything. I don't think there's anything for fishing. No, I was just wondering, like, do I need crates or barrels, or does that like, will that take me out of this? Like, does that start becoming a little bit too pirate? Because I know that we do have barrels. We've got old barrels, half barrels, but do they belong like somewhere else, like over on the pirate bit? I think maybe, or even at the back here, or, you know, like amongst this stuff. I feel like that's probably more, this area, which is actually not a bad idea. So I'm going to start, now that I've looked at those, I'm going to start adding some of these little bits into this build, just because they feel like they belong. Even like by Moana's stand, I just think they look pretty good. Let's do one by there too. Yeah, so I don't think I need that there, but I just think these areas need something. But I still want to be able to see the boats, you know? I still want to be able to see the boats and see the... I think the lighthouse can go. I've never used that in a build, but it's not really working for me. I just need to have a think about what those areas are asking for. More docks, anyone? Maybe that's what it wants. Maybe it wants more docks. I mean, we can fit another one in. No, what am I doing? That's so dumb. Well... no, it's stupid. It didn't look that bad, though. It didn't look that bad. I think maybe... I'm just looking, because obviously I had a bunch of the woodland stuff down. No, that's too woodland. Like, that was the only bit we used in the middle, and I think that looked quite good. So I don't want to overdo the woodland of it all. Maybe it doesn't need anything. Maybe this is a time for me to say, you know what? Let it go. Or it needs beach grass. I mean, these areas could always do with more beach grass, right? Where can we fit some in? I mean, I think that looks suitable. And then maybe we just throw in a couple of little tropical plants. Me saying that I didn't want another tropical area, and here I am putting more tropical plants in, but that's okay. What else have we got? We got these big fan palms. We got the little fans. Maybe one snuck in by there, or maybe even just at the back on this side. One like that, and then that's it. Just a little bit of texture for the ground, just a little bit of texture. And then I think, friends, lighting could be our final kind of thing. Now, I do think that it should have some lights down here. I just don't know quite which ones are best. Although I see the yellow torch lights, and I'm just thinking, while I see those, I could just pop a couple of those in this build. Because I don't really think that it needs too much lighting down here, to be perfectly honest. Like, I think it's okay the way that it is. But if I need to add some, I will. I need to add some, as if I'm being told. Like somebody's telling me you must add some. Nobody's telling me that, just to confirm. Maybe one there. And then that's it. I'm out of those ones. So I'm out of those little torches, but I think that's just enough. But then this bit, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure which lights. Like, I've always got an affinity for these Mickey lampposts, but I'm kind of like, well, I'm not sure that those are really the... I mean, they do kind of give the vibe. It's quite hard because I don't think we have like a quote-unquote Cape Cod section or lighting aesthetic. Like, the black wrought iron ones do look quite good, and they probably would have looked good if I left those little bits of, you know, those little bits of fencing that we put in, the Edwardian ones. But other than that, I just, looking through this list, and I'm like, well, I'm not really sure any of these quite fit. The stone lanterns I do like, but they're not quite the vibe. Maybe it is the Mickey lampposts. The more I look at it, maybe it is the Mickey lampposts. I don't think the torches really fit over here. Or it's these like round lampposts. Actually, maybe they are. Maybe they are the ones. Main Street definitely doesn't work. But these round ones, I think are suitable. It's like if I place one here and one here, that looks nice because it kind of matches the ceiling, the roof shingle. Maybe we could have one either side of, either side of the foliage out here. Not sure if those are even in line. Are they in line? Let me see. Oh, did I get them in line? I did. Okay, well, that looks like it was meant to be. And then I just wonder if that's the only place we have it. Like, just those couple of little lights. I think that's fine. And then we've also got, I don't even know if we have space. But I think maybe I could sneak like just a couple of little candles onto this island. It feels like it would have candles, right? Well, I think it would, so I'm just going to put those in just a couple of little places just to make it feel a little bit more alive at night without getting rid of the trees. Bring that one over, just pop it in there. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I think it works. Cool. I don't think there's much that you can put on the docks. Unfortunately, they seem to act as tables, so there isn't a great deal that you can kind of, like, I can't even put that on them. Like, yeah, there's not a great amount that you can put on them. It's anything I believe that you can really put on a table. But looking at everything that we put on the table, there's nothing really that big. So it makes it quite hard to, I don't know, it makes it quite hard to figure out what to include on this. But maybe it's just a case of we don't include anything. Ooh, I like these hydrangeas. I got distracted. I like those hydrangeas and how they look. Maybe we have some of those. Oh, maybe we have those right next to the door. Kind of like that. Yeah, that looks cute. So I think I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to leave the docks just as they are because I like the way that the boats are there too anyway. So I think we might be done. I am just going to very quickly throw a couple of little... Actually, you know what? Let me grab this. I'm going to do foliage 2. And I'm just going to grab this. I'm just going to do foliage 3. And then I'm going to jump back into presets. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. I'm going to get rid of that one, and then I'm just going to throw down... Look at that. It's like it's meant to be. It just fits perfectly. That was it. I just wanted to make sure there was still a little something, a little bit of interest. Maybe we bring in some of the palms just on this edge. Maybe just 2 of those, like kind of like that. With maybe this coming out of it and a bit of grass over here. Actually, let's have the grass on this side. Oops. We're saving it, I guess. And then I think, my friends, that is just about it. The only last thing that I want to take a quick look at or place down is some stuff in the water. So I do have the Moontide Glow from, I think, Pocahontas's quest. It was a reward. I just want to place a couple of these down just because it's literally so gorgeous. Like, I feel like it just should be everywhere in the water at all times. So I'm just going to place a handful of these, I guess, around. Let me place it kind of like off the back of here, and maybe like one on this side. Not really any rhyme or reason to how I'm placing these, but it really is just like stunning. So I think it should be everywhere. Maybe if we just have it like on the... Just had it like on the edges. Maybe some around this side. Maybe some down here. One like that. One over here. We could even put it all the way down. All the way down the beach. Just because it looks so nice. I just think having it like on the shoreline is really fun. And then maybe we just grab some of the water stuff. I know that we've got some bits in... Is that land or water? That's land. There's definitely water rocks somewhere. I think they might be all the way... Is it just these ones? The study ones? Rock? Oh, there's rocks that you can place in the water too, which actually is... It's actually quite cool. Oh, and the large rocks. Okay, well, they kind of match the Dazzle Beach vibe, right? So... What if I place a couple of these down? Just kind of dotted about. Let me grab another rock. Maybe one just like there. Won't have any in the bit where they're meant to be paddling, because that seems mean. I don't know, we could just have some like here and there. Because who knew that the Dazzle Beach decorating area was so vast? Maybe they've always had plans to kind of like allow us to expand out and decorate on water. Who knows? Who knows? But you can go all the way out the back just like that. Just adds a bit of visual interest, I guess. And then finally, if we come into, I think it's only an underbrush. I'll take a quick look in trees. I don't think that there's any water-based stuff in here apart from like the book side stuff from Storybook Vale, which I don't think is that appropriate for this build. We can do meadow reeds, or we could do jungle reeds, or we could do Forest of Valor reeds, all of the reeds, or we could do some lilies. Those are the double ones. I thought we had other lilies somewhere. Or of course there's like cattails and stuff like that. Maybe we just place a bunch of stuff down, right? Maybe we just place a bunch of stuff down to make the sea a bit more interesting. So cattails will be fine. We can just do a handful of those here and there. If I just keep putting those down. Maybe just around where we've got like the rocks and stuff. And then we could also have the lilies, just kind of like, I mean, lilies, I guess, are more pond based, but I think it works for this. And if it doesn't, then don't tell me. Let's put those out there as well. And then what else have we got? I know that I just saw something. We've got the reeds. I'm not sure if we do have peaceful meadow reeds, which are nicer green. So maybe we could do something with those. Peaceful meadow reeds. There's even short cattails as well. So I just get some of those on the go. Maybe right here. Maybe another one out the back. And what else have we got? We've got, did it say peaceful meadow reeds? Yes. We can just do just a handful. Maybe one just off the side here. One at the back. And I think, really, I think that's all we need to do. I do like the stems as well, actually. No. Let's just throw just a handful of lilies with a bit of pink on. And then we can wrap it up. Let's just do a couple of singles, a couple of doubles. Kind of like that. Maybe we do one out this side. Double by here. Single perhaps. Off the back of that one. Double. And then a cluster maybe right in front of that. And a single right there. And then, my friends, I think we really are done. Oh, it looks so good. I'm so happy with how this came out. It felt like I wasn't going to get there, but I think we did in the end. All right, so if I spawn on into my well on Dazzle Beach, we are on the little island by Skull Rock, which of course we made pirate themed. I think this looks so good. All of the treasures and all of the riches are here. We've got all the gold. We've got some lovely candles, some tables, all piratey stuff. We got a pirate ship out the back. Well, I say pirate ship, it's actually Eric's ship, but it will fit the bill for this. And of course, the Fountain of Youth, framing it on the background along with Skull Rock itself. I've got all my functional stuff here too, so as soon as I land on this well, if I need to, I can cook at the cooking station, or I can come over here, I can use the crafting table, or I've got a chest for everything in the biome, as well as an ancient vacuum. I really do want to start doing that a little bit more on some of my other builds and some of my other biomes, so they're all kind of prepared for anything that I need them for. Taking a look around, we can see the decorated biome from here. I think it looks really, really good. We'll come on over to the right-hand side. We can't walk on these bridges, but I do think that these docks look really fun. And then we've got all of that fun stuff that we put in the water as well. On the right-hand side, we do have some more docks in this kind of like resort area, the seaside getaway area. So we've got 3 here and the 2 Mark Twain boats. I just really love these boats so much, not just because they're from the parks, but because they've got that kind of like Victorian seaside aesthetic to them. They're very turn of the century to me. I think that they look really good and they go well with this kit. Moving on over to this section, we've got a little campfire area where you can make some s'mores, of course, with the entrances up to the forest and the meadow as well, with all these little pockets of foliage just tying everything together, making it all feel nice and cohesive. We've got this big, lovely lighthouse over there on the left-hand side, and then we come into the central area of the resort with all of the foliage, this lovely kind of like centerpiece right here. We've got some accommodation, I guess, on the left and the right with the main building right in front of you, but I think this just feels very serene, very tranquil. That's what I was going for, and I love the structured foliage as you head on into more of this wild section, this more tropical section where it changes into palms and all of those good things and these hibiscus. Coming underneath here past the ice cream stand, we do have this, I guess it's refreshment stand. I should probably go ahead and put some refreshments on there to be bought because it's looking a little bare at the moment, but let's just say it's first thing in the morning and it just opened. Coming on down, we can come past this critter home with all of the turtles on it, the turtles we've collected in the game. Super cute on the life chair up there as well. I've got a Goofy stall ready to use if I need it, alongside Moana's stall if I need any fish. Following this winding path down, which actually turned out really well, we've got all the sun loungers on the right. I think splitting them up by 2s worked way better than having them together. It just makes it flesh out a little bit and come kind of like as a premium, I guess. It makes it feel a little bit more luxury. But following this path down past the seating, we got a little fruit market where you can help yourself to fruit. We've also got the canoe club then just over here with the lifeguard, but you can come on the edge of this dock, go into the canoe club, past Stitch, and then take a canoe out if you want. We've got some floating over there, which I think looks really fun. And then that comes on over to this other entrance to the pirate area where, of course, we can't walk on the docks. But if you really want to, you can rent a swan boat and paddle about in this little cove, I guess, this little man-made cove. But coming back on over here, we'll walk you this way, past again all of this tropical stuff. We're going to follow the path just because we spent so long making it and it looks so good. And then we're going to come around here, straight on over, past again this hibiscus stuff. And I'm going to take you down into this kind of like retro road trip area because this is part of Dazzle Beach as well. So this is a full Dazzle Beach tour. We've got all of the neon kind of colors. We've got the cyan, we've got the red, we've got the Pixar pal around as well, which I absolutely love. I think it's very appropriate to have a Ferris wheel kind of on a beach boardwalk up against the snack bar. And I think when you look down there, I love that you can still see Skull Rock in the background and you start to see the change in kind of like the aesthetic where we've gone to more of a tropical vibe, whereas this feels more of a retro vibe. But bringing it down past there, we've got the V8 gas station I've used because the colors match really well, even though nobody's filling up any gas in this area. And then finally, we've got the movie theater on the beach where you can get your movie tickets to go and see a screening here on these very fun chairs with some more refreshments just down the back here. So that is it. That is my finished Dazzle Beach, my finished Dazzle Beach, I should say. And I think that it looks great. All right, my friends, that is it for this video and it for this relaxing long play. I do hope that you enjoyed spending this time with me. I had so much fun finishing off this biome. I think it came together beautifully. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I didn't know going in what I wanted to do really, but sometimes that's the best way to let the creativity come out, and then sometimes it just works, and today that was the case. So I do hope that you enjoyed it. Feel free to drop a like on the video if you did, maybe even subscribe to the channel for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content and decorating videos. But I am going to leave it there for today. I think we've spent far too much time together today, but I will of course catch you in the next one, and I will of course see you in the valley.